Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the stream. I am Xandros, and tonight we are playing more Lamplight City. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. It is Thursday evening, and I'm tired. I've been playing catch-up all week at work. It's kind of wearing me out, but I'm not too exhausted. I'm ready to have a little fun getting back into this lovely little alternate timeline North America where we're still under British rule, and there's steampunk technology and blimps, and apparently a detective with his dead partner's voice and personality in his head belittling him for his death and trying to force him to solve it. Fun times, right? I gotta say, I am actually looking forward to seeing how the second case is going to go, because the first case was... woof. So, just a fair warning, this is a game that takes place in 1844. It doesn't matter if this is an alternate timeline. They're still racist pricks. Now, they haven't used, that word in this game, and I don't think they will. But they've used some, pretty strong racist terminology from around that time period. That I've not repeated, luckily, because I don't have to voice shit in this game. I can read newspapers and notes and stuff, and I can skip some of that stuff, which I had to at least once, just because I felt kind of uncomfortable. But luckily this is fully voiced, and it's excellent voice work. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to have next. What's this next case going to be about? And will we get a step closer to finding out about the guy that held Bill at knife point in the first place that ended up causing the whole shooting mishap with Miles? So we'll see how this goes. I'm ready for this. I'm excited. Let's have a good time. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the game screen so we have plenty of room on here so we can read. And, yeah. Let's load.
Let her be for now. You've got your own things to take care of.
I guess we're going to the bedroom.
Who could that be at this time of night?
Good question. But Adelaide can handle it for now. I need to take my medicine.
You certainly have your priorities in order. Go on then. Get that bottle of rat piss out of your nightstand and let's get this over with.
I wonder if I can actually ignore not doing that.
Addie can handle whoever's at the door. I need to take my medicine.
Okay, I guess I can't.
Ugh, tastes like the devil's sweat.
You could just stop taking it,
Bill, now is not the time to...
Miles, could you come back out here, please?
Be right there, dearest.
Okay, here we go.
Who was that at the door?
A late-night courier. You've got a message from Upton.
Oh, do we? What does Constance have for us? Fordman, yeah, this case makes the last one look simple. Meet me at... I guess it's Rowan. I'm bad at remembering what this place is called. Rowan, ASAP. It's urgent. Oh, urgent.
Seems this case is rather urgent. She wants me to meet her as soon as possible.
But didn't you just take your soporific? Are you going to be all right to go?
It won't kick in for another hour or so. Should be plenty of time.
All right, I'm going to bed then. Good luck, dear.
Good night, Addie.
All right. While the missus is going to bed, we've got an hour in game, I guess, to see what Constance wants. Constance, you beautiful so-and-so, what do we have this time?
Hello, Upton.
I'm glad you came, Fordham. Sorry for disturbing you this late.
Not be patronizing.
Curious to know what's so important that it couldn't wait until morning.
An infant kidnapping in Lyon.
Oh, what?
Report came in tonight just before my shift ended. The family wants to keep the investigation very low-key. They're afraid if word gets out, they'll have all sorts of ne'er-do-wells making false ransom claims. That's why I suggested they let you investigate first. Head over to 45 Belcourt Street. That's the home of Malcolm and Miriam Harris, the parents of the kidnapped boy.
Shit.
Harris? As in Harris Construction Company?
The very same. Owned by Malcolm's father, no less. Now you see why they wanted to keep this out of the public eye.
Indeed. If they manage to get a new transatlantic airship off the ground, it'll be an aura mine. I can see why they'd make an easy target.
Sure, why not?
Don't worry, Upton. I'll get the kid back before you can say hot toddy.
Hot toddy. I think you're losing your touch, Fordham.
And I think you've lost your joke book. Try some new material for a change, would you?
Right. Good luck on your investigation. Come see me again once you figured things out. Or if you just need to talk. I'll be here all day tomorrow as well. So feel free to stop by.
Alright. I guess we're on our way. They still haven't cleaned up those plates. They're still there. It's a big...
Mr. Miles Fordham is here to see you, sir.
Crypto, hey!
Very good, Mr.
Glad
Havelock.
to see you.
Send him up.
Yes, sir.
You're just in time. We're investigating a kidnapping.
Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Fordham. I'm Malcolm Harris.
I'm terribly sorry to hear about what's happened, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham. You were very highly recommended by Miss Upton. She said you'd be able to solve this faster and more discreetly than the police. I admit it's a rather unorthodox approach, but we're desperate.
I understand. I'll do all I can to find the kidnapper and bring
Housework.
your son back on home.
Hopefully it went well.
If you'd like to examine the nursery, it's just through that door to the left. I'll ask you to please try and keep quiet as I just sent my wife to bed. Her nerves are rather shot, you see.
Yes, of course.
I mean, yeah.
It's nice to see that tea is still served here even in times of tragedy. I know the hand and waistcoat pose is supposed to look stately, but to me it always looks like the person is scratching themselves.
God damn it, Bill. Oh.
Be careful not to cut yourself, Miles. I don't think the Harris family has ever seen blood that isn't blue. Interesting. This fabric looks as though it came from a garment of some kind.
Coat, maybe?
Look, you can see the balcony extends all the way around the side of the manor.
That would make it rather easy for someone to access this window from the outside.
No evidence of what was used to smash the glass, though.
Good, and checked my PSN store in only 3 hours till Soul Hacker's tool will be loaded. Nice.
Probably won't be another year or so before the child gets any
I'm gonna be holding
practical
off on
use out of
getting
those
it for
blocks
now. I
beyond
want to
putting them in
see
his mouth.
what you all think of it. Plus, kinda gonna be a little okay with my money for a bit. Just kind of be careful with it. I don't want to like start overspending. I want to keep a nice little cushion in there. Plus, the youngest's birthday is coming up, and I gotta get birthday presents still. So, gonna be focusing on that and not trying to add more games while I can. But if it's good, I'm gonna get it.
It looks rather flimsy. Let's not try sitting on it.
Well, there's anything else here.
A steam-powered bottle warmer. Certainly beats having to do it in the fireplace. Or in the case of my parents, over a barrel fire. Look at that. It get us a toy chest. My sister and I used to have to keep our toys buried in the backyard. Of course, that is because the only toys we had were dead rats.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
My friend Bunny. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want a giant imaginary rabbit for a friend.
Alright, let's check the crib.
That's odd. Why is there a loose button in the crib? Yeah, I'm no expert on children, but it seems like it would be dangerous to have around an infant.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice mobile. Custom made, too. There'll be no mistaking what family this child comes from.
Excuse me. Yeah, I haven't watched any of the latest videos on the game.
Yeah, the kidnapper
I
left the
should here
child's
soon.
blanket behind. There doesn't appear to be any trace of the silver spoon, though.
Oh, that's nice. Love tie-ins like that.
Some sort of fuzzy animal wearing a waistcoat. Charming.
There's nothing else.
Nice view of the garden from up here.
Let's go out this way and talk. And look around.
She looks like she's up to something. I wouldn't get too close, Miles. That vase is probably worth more than your entire building. I'm sure the only location the Harrises care about is wherever they are at any given moment.
Alright, let's talk to him a little bit more.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
No doubt you do, but I'm really not in the mood to talk right now. It's been a difficult evening, and I'm not certain I have it in me to answer your questions at the moment.
Fair enough, but I will need to ask you about the incident at some point.
Yes, that's fine. Just not now.
Then I'll go home.
Harris family certainly has a
No,
nice
I don't
view
care
from which
for
to
the
look down
cosmetics
upon
and
the
only
world.
go for the extra
I
demons
wonder
of
if they
persona,
use the
but you
balcony
make
to
an
give
exception.
speeches to the gardeners.
I like bonus cosmetic stuff sometimes if it's done right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was that person that bought like all the DLC for the Persona 5. As far as did I buy all of them? All the cosmetic ones for sure. I think I got the extra Personas too, but I can't remember. But I really wanted the Featherman outfits because I'm just that dork. Plus, I like that you get the different music when you have everyone wearing the same costume. The music changes. It's good stuff. Am I missing anything? Can't go to the bedroom right now.
We can't leave yet. You haven't even...
There's not much I can do right now.
Be careful not to cut yourself.
Huh. There's a small emblem sewn on
I
the
could
side
pick it
of this
up.
piece of fabric. It just says SS.
Somebody's initials, maybe?
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Ah, wonderful. The soporific has started working. Well done, Fordham. Now how are you supposed to... What's the word I'm looking for? Instigate? Interrogate? I just had it on the tip of my tongue.
Perhaps it's time to call it a night.
No talking now. He'll know it's all wrong.
I don't believe so, actually. No.
Mr. Harris, I believe I've done all I can for right now.
Similar style, though.
Find anything?
Yes, I believe I have some leads I can pursue. But the most important thing to do in cases like this is wait to hear from the kidnappers. I'll be back tomorrow morning to continue my investigation and ask you and your wife some questions once you've had time to calm down a bit. In the meantime, I suggest you stay here and get some sleep. We'll all need it.
Yeah, it's definitely in that same kind of 90s style, which I like. Like, this is nice, and it's an interesting story so far.
Miles, wake up. It's nearly noon.
Ah, so it is.
Why didn't you come to bed when you got home last night?
It was late. I didn't want to disturb
I
you.
actually don't know.
So what was so urgent about the case Upton sent you?
I'm trying to track a kidnapped child.
Oh my goodness. That's awful.
Yes, the pressure's on, but I think I should be able to crack it.
Assuming you actually managed to get anything done at the Harris Manor today.
Well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Also, we've got company. Mrs. Delacroix is having her hair done here today, so please make yourself presentable.
You mean I'm not all ready?
At least do something about your hair. I do have a reputation to maintain after all.
What's wrong with my hair?
Really? Want me to answer that? We'll be here all day.
Alright, so I actually do not know what a soporific is. I need to see what this is. I need to know what a soporific is. Soporific, tending to induce drowsiness or sleep. It's sleep medicine, basically. Okay. Basically, he uses that medicine to drown out the voice of Bill, who is his dead partner, who is dead because he shot him by accident while trying to free him from the hands of a criminal. So, that's the fun we're in. Sorry, had to talk with the youngest real quick. But yeah, so it's not LSD as much as just sleeping drugs. It's the only way he can get any kind of peace because Bill talks all the time to him. So he takes the medicine to block out Bill, but it kind of fucks our things up too. So we gotta look presentable.
It's admirable just how organized Adelaide is. Maybe someday the same can be said about you. Wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been...
So? Addie,
Right. Brooding...
what are you talking about?
Never mind.
I don't know. I've actually never seen Werewolf of London. Call me weird.
Yes, the bottle is still in there.
And then he said, "Oh, hello there. I don't believe we've met."
Mrs. Delacroix, this is my husband, Miles. Miles, this is Mrs. Delacroix.
Pleasure to meet you, madam.
Likewise, young man.
Oh.
Pleasure.
Is everything all right, Mrs. Delacroix?
Oh, yes, everything's fine. It's just that...
Oh.
Well, you weren't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Keep your head, Miles. She may be a close-minded idiot, but she's just an old lady.
What were you expecting exactly?
Well...
Now then, Mrs. Delacroix, what was it that you were telling me about Mr.
The
Delacroix
lore in that
and
movie
his
is that
dogs?
when a werewolf kills someone,
yes.
their ghost will haunt
So,
them. Ooh,
Harold
interesting.
came in and said,
Impressive. She got off pretty easy. I was expecting a repeat of the Parsons incident. You should give Adelaide a kiss on the way out, though, just to make the old bat feel extra uncomfortable.
I agree with that.
It might do you some good to look in the mirror.
It's just a little fun.
Addie?
Not right now, Miles. I'm busy. We can talk once I finish with Mrs.
Oh,
Delacroix.
I wanted to give you a kiss. Laura, let's see the newspaper this time. What we got? Dupree scandal shocks Gascon society. Madame Laura Dupree, the Gascon Grand Dame, I am so bad at reading this, reported to have died 2 weeks ago, is in fact alive. Details emerged after a police investigation that Dupree was made to appear dead and almost buried alive. In a shocking turn of events, it was discovered that Madame Dupree had been torturing her servants, even going so far as to keep one locked in a hidden room. The servant unfortunately died. Dupree was arrested for manslaughter and will stand trial in the coming months. The suspected assailant, Albert Martin, was released with full pardon. Public opinion has quickly turned against Dupree, with many claiming that she got what she deserved. A signed confession was given by a Guy Dumas, but police have been unable to locate him because we let him go because fuck that wrist bitch. Protests at airship yard continue. The public unrest after the disaster of the HMS Legaia shows no sign of slowing as protesters continue to line up outside the gates of the Harris Construction Airship Yard. Oh, this is the people whose kids have been kidnapped. Interesting. I am so sorry. Excuse me. Currently in the process of building the Legaia's sister ship, the HMS Lenore, Harris Construction took out the contract several months before the Legaia crashed. Clyde Harris, owner of Harris Construction, said, "While the Legaia disaster was a most unfortunate accident, it should not be taken as any indication that steam technology is in any way dangerous. The fact remains that airships are among the safest means of transportation. To halt the construction of the Lenore would symbolize a setback not only to our cultural prosperity, but to New Britannia's financial prosperity as well." Harris long criticized for his apparent, and then it continues on another page, Prime Minister's re-election campaign intensifies. Prime Minister Herbert Atwood is making no secret of his desire to be re-elected this year. The leader of the Conservative Party has begun his campaign, promising to focus on bettering quality of life in Vespuccia, by embracing new technological advances and implementing automated workers in factories to reduce overcrowding and reliance on child labor. Liberal Party leader Hart Leroy has blasted Atwood, saying his plan will only increase the already staggering amount of unemployment in New Britannia and other cities. Leroy has also accused Atwood of purposely delaying the construction of the Gascon-Chumley Bridge. The people will only believe in lack of funds for so long before they start realizing the truth. Atwood and his cronies just want to keep the riffraff out, Leroy said. Yeah, that sounds about like conservatives. Sabotage blamed for brewery explosion. No, this is the U.S. This is an alternate timeline where the U.S. is still ruled by the British. It's just 1844, and there's steampunk technology and airships and all that fun stuff. Excuse me. Sabotage blame for the brewery explosion. The explosion at the Haskins Brewery last Thursday has been determined a case of sabotage, according to New Britannia police. Originally thought to have been caused by faulty machinery, the investigation turned up the remnants of a crude explosive device hidden inside one of the tanks. The explosion did not kill anyone, but caused several employees to be injured, and the brewery to be shut down for several days. When asked to comment, Chief of Police Reginald Snelling declined naming any suspects in the bombing, but did not rule out the possibility of the Redites being involved. We have some information at present, but not enough to make any official determinations. Rest assured, those responsible will be brought to justice, said Snelling. Haskins Brewery is best known for producing Bollingworth Ale. Fun. You didn't give her a kiss.
Goodbye, dearest.
I look forward to your return, my love.
Fuck you, racist.
Remind me, Miles, how was finding some rich people's kidnapped
I messed up. It's 1844. I
burglar?
misspoke. 1844. I was wrong. We weren't using this much horse and buggy in 1944.
It's possible we might find a lead to the burglar during the course of this investigation.
Really, Miles? You really believe that?
Anything's possible, Bill. You remember how many times we encountered seemingly trivial matters which turned out to be important later on?
Well, if you plan on solving this case, you'll need your full wits about it.
That's a lot of wits.
I do have my full wits about me. I'm perfectly capable of doing this.
Yes, and I'm perfectly capable of being alive. I just choose to be this way because it saves on the laundry expenses. You can't deny it. You need to stop taking the soporific, Miles. Adelaide has been trying to get you to stop for months, and Upton already suspects something is amiss. Not to mention your little episode last night. Trust me, no one is going to want to hire the dullard detective.
Clever. Did you come up with that one all by yourself?
What are you going to do when the cases stop coming in? How long before you get put away in Riverview?
If I do get locked away, it'll be your fault.
Which is exactly why you need to get back to your normal routine so you can find the burglar.
Let's see.
All right, fine. I'll stop. But you know that doesn't guarantee we'll find the burglar any sooner.
Yeah, I'm aware, but it increases the odds significantly. Well, I'm glad that's settled then. I knew you'd.
Now, what's cool about this game is apparently you can. There's a couple different options for like who might be guilty, so you can pick
probably
different people that are going to be guilty, whether it's right or wrong. It's a
Make me
different
change
story.
my mind on this, Bill.
Mr. Fordham, you're
Wank
back.
Puffin.
Allow me
That
to
is such an
introduce my
interesting
wife,
one.
Miriam.
Hello.
A pleasure, Mrs. Harris. I wish we could have met under better circumstances, but I assure you I'm doing all I can to find your son.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham.
Mr. Harris, has there been any communication from the kidnapper?
None at all.
Really?
Well, I'll have another look around, if you don't mind.
Am I the one that thinks this guy looks like Gene Wilder?
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
Like, just from far away, and up close, not as much.
Tell me everything you can about the kidnapping.
I don't know much. I was out last night while it happened.
Where had you been previously?
I was out with friends. My wife can verify the time I arrived home.
Nice.
Wait a minute. I know this attitude all too well. This man is hiding something. Most likely from his wife. I doubt his voice is from beyond the grave, so the question is, what's his secret?
I found this bit of torn fabric by the broken window.
That's not
Do
good.
you know anything about it?
Looks like it came from a piece of clothing. Possibly a jacket.
Did the initials SS mean anything to you?
Maybe? I can't really say. You'll have to excuse me, Mr. Fordham. I've got quite a lot on my mind right now. If I can think of anything, I'll be sure to let you know.
Yeah, let's hear
Tell me
about the
about your
baby.
son.
Charles is a good boy. Very quiet. Miriam had wanted a child almost from the moment we married. You know how women are when they have their hearts set on something. I saw no need to rush, but
Nice to know you're not the only one. Hey, Miles.
the first 2 times Miriam was with child, she suffered some unfortunate accidents. She was devastated, as you can imagine. So when Charles finally came along, he turned out to be quite a blessing. I can't imagine what sort of depraved madman would take him from us like this. You must find him, Mr. Fordham.
I intend to, Mr. Harris.
Okay. And let's hear
Tell me
about
about
Harris.
yourself.
There isn't much to tell, really. My life has been fairly well publicized in the newspapers.
Let's pretend for a moment that I skip over the society pages.
Well, I'm an investor. My father Clyde runs Harris Construction Company, which I will someday inherit. Any other details about me are fairly trivial nonsense, I think.
Those are all the questions I had for now.
All right.
Alright, let's try the misses.
I have some questions for you if you're up to answering them, Mrs. Harris.
I'll try my best, Mr. Fordham.
Tell me what you know about your son's kidnapping.
Oh, my poor baby.
Mrs. Harris, I know this is difficult, but I need as much information as you can give me so I can bring your son back.
Yes, you're right. I have to stay strong. For Charles, it happened sometime between 6 and 8 last night.
That's a
I
2-hour
think
period.
Both my husband and I had gone out. Charles was in the care of his nanny, Mrs. Davis. I arrived home first, around 8:30, and that's when I found this scene in the nursery, as it was.
And what was it you found?
Mrs. Davis, unconscious in her chair, the broken
Oh.
window, and Charles missing from his crib. Malcolm arrived home shortly afterwards, around 9, and then immediately sent our butler, Mr. Havelock, to notify the police.
Last
We
time she
stayed
brought
up
the
waiting for
xenomorph
any
and the queen
contact
came to
with the
claim
kidnappers,
custody.
but there was nothing.
Your husband mentioned he was out with friends
God
last
damn
night.
it.
Where were you?
Oh, I was visiting with some of my friends. We gathered at one of their homes for a concert.
It seems hiding something from your spouse is an activity both Harrises partake in.
Alright, which one was having the orgy?
What can you tell me about Mrs. Davis?
Well, she's worked for us since Charles was born, a little over 6 months ago.
How did you come to employ her?
Malcolm's mother had a friend whose daughter she used to care for. She came highly recommended. We've never had any problems with her. She's always been a dream.
Where is she now?
In her room, I would guess. With Charles missing, there's little for her to do.
Where might I find her room?
There's a small building just around the back of the manor. Hers is the 4th door from the left.
Okay. Interesting.
Can you think of any reason why your son would be a target for kidnapping?
It could be that someone wants our money, or some lunatic who's angry about the new airship.
Both are possible.
My husband's an investor, and my father-in-law owns the company building it, you see. I just don't know, Mr. Fordham. Frankly, the fact that something like this could even happen is just terrifying.
I found this bit of torn fabric by the broken window. Do you know anything about it?
No, I've never seen it before. Do you think it was left by the kidnapper?
I mean,
Perhaps.
probably.
Did the initials SS mean anything to you?
No, I can't think of anyone or anything I know with those initials.
Tell me about your son.
Charles is our only child. He's such a good boy. Never makes a fuss. Always very sweet. Oh, Charles, you must be so
The worst
frightened
outcome, the
about
baby was
knowing how
kidnapped
your
by a
mother-
Florida man. And there's an alligator
Please,
involved.
Mr. Fordham.
To be fair,
You have to bring
I
him
want to say
home.
this is in Louisiana.
I'll do my best.
I could be wrong, but I think it is in Louisiana. I'd have to double check.
Tell me a bit about yourself, Mrs. Harris.
Mr. Fordham, my son has been kidnapped and is out there alone, terrified and confused. What could I possibly tell you that would make any difference to you finding him?
I suppose you're right, Mrs. Harris. My apologies if I upset you. That's all for now, Mrs. Harris.
Very well.
See if they yell at me for going this way. They have not.
Miles, didn't you notice something a bit strange about the Harrises?
Quite a few things, actually. What are you referring to?
Their son was just kidnapped, yet they're each on their own side of the sitting room. Not comforting each other, not crying together. Nothing.
They're stuck-up rich people. Not exactly the type to show emotion.
Miles, you know I'm the most cynical person there is when it comes to their type. But this isn't normal behavior, even for snobs. This goes deeper than saving face. There's something going on between them. I think you should find out what.
Well, I'm in their room.
Who in their right mind would need that many drawers? Fancy. Some poor servant's probably gonna get a flogging for leaving it in here, though. It looks like a pile of women's clothes. Must belong to Mrs. Harris.
Must, I'm sure.
Wardrobes are usually always full of wonderfully dark secrets.
Well, I guess we're gonna check that out. The baby being trained, gator foo, horse mask rampages, and Walmart raids.
One thing is for certain. Mr. Harris uses entirely too much starch on his shirts.
Ah.
Empty
Case.
suitcase.
Oh.
I suppose Mr. Harris must travel every now and then. Yeah, it seems like this is where Mrs. Harris keeps her unmentionables. I like the ones with the frills and the stitched cat. Paperwork and receipts. Nothing particularly interesting here. More lacy underthings. I wonder which Harris they belong to.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, maybe he's into drag. That's possible. And the fine art of stuffing potentially dangerous animals down
Mr.
their
Harris's
pants.
color selection is almost as drab as yours.
Let's see if there's anything of interest in any of the pockets.
So, Mr. Harris is a fan of the ponies, is he? I'm sure that's not causing him any trouble at all.
Okay, then. God damn it. Get back on there. I couldn't get my lid back on.
Oh, another four-poster. The Harris family certainly makes no secret of their wealth. Painting of the city. Probably the only time the Harris family sees any of the other boroughs.
Don't think there's anything else here.
Let's see what we have here.
Oh, there we are.
A very poorly written letter addressed to Mr. Harris.
Oh.
I don't suppose it's a letter of admiration.
On the contrary, the author seems quite upset.
Mr. Harris. Oh, they can't spell. This is your weekly reminder of how much I hate you. Because of you, my wife is dead. My wife was a wonderful woman, and you have taken her from me. I hope you suffer as much as I have. Oh, for Devons. There's my bad accent for the day. Only true masters can stuff a wild lobster down their pants with no regrets. I mean, you're not wrong.
Nothing else of note in any of the drawers.
Oh, well, at least we got to play a rousing game of Search the Rich People's Dresser.
It's always a riveting game.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
Let's talk about this letter you were hiding.
I found this letter in your bedroom. What can you tell me about it?
You went through our things?
I'm a private investigator, Mr. Harris. It's part of my job.
Of all the insolence!
You're upset, I know, but do you want me to find your son or don't you?
Yes, of course I do.
Then stop
The
being a
letter was sent to me
dumbass.
by mistake. It was written to my father. Well, if you can even call that writing.
Have I ever mentioned how much I hate rich people? Because I really hate rich
When
people.
Bill's not being a
Father. Doesn't he own
dickhead,
the company building
he's
the new
very
airship?
much
Yes,
on the nose
that's
on
right.
the right things.
He's been receiving many letters just like that one since the Lygia disaster.
Lygia?
Devon's
That's how you
fellow in
pronounce it?
particular has
God.
sent one every week, along with a bag of chicken bones and dust.
How peculiar.
Not only that, he leads a daily protest in front of the construction yard where the HMS Lenore is being built, trying to halt production. My God! How did I not see this before?
See what?
Devons! He has a grudge against this family because of what happened with the Lygia. I put money on him being involved with the kidnapping somehow, as a form of retaliation.
I'll just have to speak with Mr. Devons and see for myself.
He's like a beardless Charles Darwin.
Mr. Harris, what can you tell me about these?
What? How did you...
Listen, I'm trying to help you and your family. I can't do it if I don't get the entire truth.
Yeah.
Do you think we could discuss this somewhere more private?
I suppose we could.
Of course we can.
Let's move to the nursery then.
To the nursery then. Now then, about these
Shall
tickets.
we continue our conversation, Mr. Harris?
Yes, of course.
Let's talk about your tickets.
Now that your wife is out of earshot, tell me about the kidnapping and what these betting stubs have to do with it.
Yeah.
Right. As I said before, it had already happened when I got home. I had just come from spending the evening at the meadows.
I see. I take it your wife isn't impressed by your hobby?
I promised her weeks ago that I would stop going, but I've had such a good streak lately. The last thing I wanted was to upset her further, yet it would be foolish of me to just give up on something so promising.
Oh my god.
Can you think of anyone who might want to do you harm by taking your son?
Several, I'm afraid.
Go on.
I haven't exactly had the best of luck, Mr. Fordham. That's why this latest streak was so important to me. The truth is, I've gambled away most of my money. I've had to take out several loans so Miriam doesn't get suspicious. If she ever found out, it would be over. I can't lose her, Mr. Fordham. I just can't.
Where have I heard this before? You know, things would be so much easier if people just talked to each other.
Yeah.
I've tried doing business above board, but lately I've had to seek other resources.
What do you mean?
I was forced to visit a lending office. The owner was a rather shady Sambo, but I think it would be easier to deal with than the usual sheenies that run those type of places.
Can you believe this guy? Maybe we should just leave the kid be. He'd probably be better raised by wolves.
Who was the owner?
Mr. LeFay. I didn't bother to get his first name. His business is an abattoir row in Chumley. Horrid place. But I was desperate.
You think this Mr. LeFay may have taken your son as collateral?
Let's just say there isn't much those type of people wouldn't do to put a crown in their pocket.
Mm-hmm. Remember when I said this is 1844 and in America? If there's one thing that doesn't change even in alternate timelines, it's the racism. Fucking Christ.
How goes the construction of the new airship?
There have been some complications, but nothing we can't handle.
Could you be a bit more specific?
Well, I already told you about the trouble with protesters at the yard, and we're blocked pending Royal Maverick's review of the safety regulations for the prototype etheric diffusion.
Yeah.
Agitators.
You can see why I'm happy I don't have to do a lot of like voice work and reading in this one. I'd be rather uncomfortable.
By the end of the year. But really, Mr. Fordham, what the deuce does this have to do with finding Charles?
He has a point, you know.
Those are all the questions I had for now.
All right.
Go back
if
to...
you don't mind, Mr. Fordham, I'm going back to the living room. I don't want Miriam getting suspicious.
Yeah, maybe I should tell her about the tickets. Alright, for right now, we'll exit. And we will go talk to the nanny.
Come in.
Good day to you, ma'am. I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. I'm looking into the kidnapping of Charles Harris. Are you Mrs. Davis?
I am. Oh, bless the spirits. They've sent someone to help at last.
Okay.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
You seem
Tell me
friendly.
about the kidnapping of Charles Harris.
Oh, dear. May the spirits forgive me. I feel so awful. Charlie was my responsibility, and I failed.
Mrs. Davis, that is beside the point. What's important now is finding him and bringing him home. To do that, I need your full cooperation.
Oh, you're right, Mr. Fordham. I'm sorry. I just need to collect my thoughts, get the negative vibrations out of my mind. Now, what specifically would you like to know?
Oh, America racist no matter the timeline and easily scared of Bigfoot, witches, and sells shitty books about them for $4. That's a lot of money during that time period.
What time did the kidnapping occur?
Or I guess it'd be 4 crowns.
not entirely sure. I know I was in the nursery having a cup of tea about 8:30. I remember feeling very drowsy. I must have passed out then because the next thing I knew, I was being woken by Mrs. Harris. To think, whoever took Charlie did it while I was in the room. Oh, may the spirits grant me peace.
Do you happen to take any sort of sleep medications or soporifics?
Oh, dear me, no. Those types of drugs cloud the mind and make it impossible to tune into the ether.
You say that as though it were a bad thing.
I beg your pardon?
Apologies, I spoke out of turn. Can you think of anyone who would have wanted to take the child?
Well, I'm not one to gossip, but I am quite sensitive to the energy and vibrations.
An
that
1844
people give
version of
off.
hippie.
I get the impression that Mr. and Mrs. Harris aren't very happy in their marriage.
You don't say.
Ah, come on. Anyone could have picked up on that. Anyone except you, that is.
Mr. Harris likes to stay out late and not take his wife with him. I can't remember the last time they went out together. I don't know what he gets up to, but
Could have sworn I've seen a
possible
strange yellow
he
creature
may
with
have
a
made
very
some
white collar.
enemies.
Can you think of any reason why someone would want to kidnap Charles?
It might have been for money, but last I heard, there was no demand for a ransom. I honestly don't know why this happened, Mr. Fodder. I just hope you find the poor child. He must be scared to death.
Please don't let the kid be dead.
I found this piece of torn fabric in the nursery. Does it look familiar to you?
No, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
And let's talk about her.
How long have you worked as a nanny?
Only a few years. I never had to work when I was married. My husband had a lot of money. Unfortunately, he was in great debt.
Babies are a good source of
And
dreams.
after
It's the
spirits
boogeyman. I
took
knew
him
it.
Back to the ether, I wasn't
Pardon me.
left with much. So I began working as a nanny to make ends meet. But I consider taking care of children a reward in its own right.
Thank you for your time.
Just asking
Mrs.
the
Davis.
ghost type.
Oh, you're very welcome.
True. Let's explore.
That chest is full of undressed dolls? What the hell is wrong with this old bat? Pretty distinguished looking gentleman. Handsome. Good fashion sense. Wonder who he is.
I have some questions.
All right.
That's a lovely portrait. Who is it of?
Husband.
That is my late husband,
Thought so.
Jonathan.
I see. My condolences.
Thank you, dear. But he had a good, long life.
Who did you say that?
That is my...
I see.
Thank...
I couldn't help but notice that chest full of dolls in the corner.
Oh, that. Oh, I know it must look a bit strange, but I pick up old and broken dolls so they can be repaired and donated to orphanages. It's my way of giving back to the community and helping poor children who have nothing to play with.
Well, what a kind soul. I wish she would find less creepy ways to express her altruism.
Still, that's
Thank you for your time,
nice.
Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I can't be mad. That's actually nice.
My mother had a pewter teapot as well. Always made the tea taste funny.
I just hope that stays just nice and pleasant and kind of wholesome
Seems
and
like
not
that
creepy.
boiler's the only thing in here that's less than 10 years old. Another Harris hand-me-down, no doubt. You'd think they would have washed it first. These are all books on spiritualism and the occult. Mrs. Davis doesn't seem to have many other hobbies. It's a spirit reaching out to a very frightened man. Possibly the fakest looking photo I've ever seen. Her Majesty Queen Jessica. This was clearly painted a long
Queen
time ago.
Jessica.
The Harris family doesn't seem to hold the comfort of their servants in very high regard. I think a bed of nails would be an improvement. A boy taking a nap under a tree while his dog runs around in the distance. That brings back some good memories.
I'll be going now, Mrs. Davis.
May the spirits guide your path.
Yeah, that. Well then. Let's go to the construction yard. If it's a supernatural themed game and it has dolls, I always have a fire spell
So we
handy.
say to Harris and his cronies, no, we will not stand for this. Too many have died to allow this to continue. Steam tech must be stopped. The time has come to reject steam machines. They take our jobs, they take our families, they take our lives. We won't stand for this injustice any longer. Clyde Harris has no concern for the people who died aboard the Lygia or their families. The only thing that matters to him is lining his pockets with the misery of others. To this we say no! Lads, we will not just stand by and watch another bringer of fiery death hover over us. Mark my words, the HMS Lenore will not fly!
He seems really steadfast on that.
And so we say to Harris and his cronies, no!
Oh,
Well,
I
someone
could do
certainly
stuff
wasn't
now.
shy
Sorry,
about
I thought it was like
making
a
their opinion
cutscene.
known. But the way this gate is set up, I think trespassers should
Yeah,
get an
the only
award for being
supernatural
able to
thing right
breach
now
the
is Bill.
fortress.
Everything else is
Too many
steampunk
have
and
died
tech.
to allow...
Elect Hart Leroy, the man of the people. I think that's preaching to the choir around here.
Pardon me, are you Arthur Devons by any chance?
Yes? Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. Could I ask you a few questions?
Guess so, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's an alternate timeline steampunk game. The only weird thing is Bill being in Miles' head right now. We don't know exactly why yet. But this is a time where people believe in supernatural stuff, like, you know, spiritualism, the occult, voodoo, and like black magics and stuff like that. The first case actually had a, like black magic, that's what I was trying to say, and voodoo undertone to it, where like the guy was accused of using black magic to like assault that dame that was in the paper we talked about, and like try to like make it like she was dead and everything, because his mother was like was it like a voodoo queen? I can't remember the term specifically, and they conflated that with, you know, black magic and stuff, which, you know, that's that old fucking song and dance.
Do you recognize this letter, Mr. Devons?
How'd you get that? That wasn't meant for you.
I found it at the home of Mr. Malcolm Harris. He tells me you've been sending quite a few of these to his father.
Me and everyone else would had someone killed by that devil machine. I'm not the only one, you know.
Perhaps not, but he told me you were the most persistent. What have you got against the Harris family?
Family? Don't know nothing about the family. The only one I got a problem with is Clyde Harris, the one who owns this yard. He's just like all those other rich bastards with their heads in the clouds.
I mean,
the man don't care about the dead. He just wants to make as much money as he can. I'm just trying to make him realize how wrong he is.
Do you know anything about the kidnapping of Charles Harris?
Charles Harris? Who's that?
Clyde Harris's grandson.
I didn't even know he had a grandson. I can't believe someone with a grandkid, a family, would want more flying death in the air. How many more people have to die before someone realizes that steam machines are evil? People will kill their own mams for a crown these days.
bones and dust.
Mr. Harris told me you send a bag of chicken bones and dust along with your letters. Why is that?
Chicken bones? Dust? Nah, that's not right. I've only sent letters.
Are you certain of that?
Yes, as sure as I'm standing here.
Oh.
Right. And I'm the queen. I get the feeling this guy will crack if we figure out what the significance of his little gift is.
Okay.
Why are you out here protesting?
Because what Harris Construction is doing ain't right. I lost my wife in the Lygia crash, and I'm not the only one either. Hundreds of people were affected by that disaster, and now these bastards are making another airship. It's like a slap in the face to everyone who died. I just can't understand it.
What do you hope to accomplish by protesting?
Simple. We want construction of the Lenore stopped, and a full investigation into the Lygia disaster. Not only that, we want compensation for our losses. Royal Maverick took care of all the families of those on board, but the families of the ones in the park didn't get a single copper.
Jeez.
It just isn't fair. We aim to make things right. After that, it'll just be a matter of time before people realize that there's no future in steam tech, and they'll call the whole thing off.
Ah, the innocence of the downtrodden. I wish I could be as naive as them. It would have made my life a lot easier.
There existed a show called American Supernatural, which attributed every weather phenomenon and stated a long-dead voodoo queen is the cause of today's hurricanes. Jesus Christ.
You must have loved your wife very much.
Are you joking? I loved her more than there are stars in the sky. She was my whole world, Mr. Fordham, the light of my life. It's been nothing but cold and dark since she was killed. You're married, aren't you, Mr. Fordham? I see a ring on your finger.
I am, yes.
Then take my advice.
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch the Weather
Appreciate
Channel.
every moment you have with her. You never know when she'll be ripped out of your life, leaving you with nothing.
You know, this fellow was actually pretty wise. Maybe we misjudged him.
Does this piece of fabric look familiar to you?
Looks like it came from some fancy jacket, the type you'd expect to see on the snobs in Leon. I could never afford clothes like that in a million years.
Okay, and let's talk about you real quick.
You seem very dedicated to your cause.
I'll take that as a compliment, Mr. Fordham.
There's quite a lot of people who are against steam tech, aren't there?
Yes, the movement is gaining ground and growing rapidly, I'm pleased to say.
I've heard stories about some more extreme members. Do you know anything about that?
You mean the Redites? Sure, I've heard of them. Even met a few. But if you think I'm telling you anything else beyond that, you're sorely mistaken.
Are you a member of the Redites, Mr. Devons?
No, I prefer more peaceful methods of making my voice heard. Now, if you don't mind, I think we should drop the subject.
Good day to you, Mr. Devons.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
In the California wildfires, according to the show, is caused by a rock face that looks like... God damn it. People are weird.
I suddenly remembered a joke. What's the difference between the HMS Lenore and Chief Snelling? One is a greatly disliked and untrustworthy sack of hot air, and the other is the HMS Lenore. Now that is an impressive piece of machinery.
The time has come!
Don't these people have jobs they need to go to?
They're literally picketing right now, so probably not. Oh, come on, stream. Why do you have to act like this? Sorry, internet's being a little wonky, so quality's gone to shit. Just
We won't stand for this injustice
try to bear with
any
it.
longer!
Alright, let's check the lending office.
Hello, sir. Welcome to LaFay Lenders. I'm the owner, Chester LaFay. Are you looking to take out a loan?
Not today, I'm afraid. I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator.
Look, I don't know what you've heard, but I run a clean business here. I don't need any trouble.
And I'm not here to cause any, for the moment.
Just keep your nose where it belongs. We should get along fine.
One second, sorry. Sorry, it's the X. Questions involving the kids. Nothing bad. Cookie, hey, how you doing? Glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. And it's still a mystery that a large amount of people take these wannabe Ghostbusters seriously. Yeah, really.
Do you suppose LaFay turns the heat up to put some pressure on his clients?
We're gonna make him an offer he
Mr.
can't
LaFay,
refuse.
I'd like to ask you some questions.
Fine, but keep it brief.
Tell me what you know about Malcolm Harris.
Ah, Mr. Harris. Took out a loan about a month ago. Still hasn't paid me back. In fact, he sent along a letter yesterday saying he was having an emergency and needed more time. I probably should have refused to do business with him. As soon as he walked through the door, I could tell his type.
What type is that?
Upper class, bored with his life, trying to escape and doing it through vice. In his case, gambling.
This guy is good. Maybe you can pursue money lending if the whole private investigator thing doesn't work out.
But for some reason, I pitied him and decided to give him the loan anyway. Compassion isn't exactly an asset in this business, you see.
Nothing to worry about in your case, then.
Aside from that, I don't know anything about him. I prefer to keep how much I know about my clients to a minimum. Makes things easier for me.
Well, you're gonna know more.
Aware that Malcolm's son Charles was kidnapped last night?
I had no idea he even had a son. As I said, I don't ask my clients too many personal questions. Though now you've told me, I suppose that would explain the emergency he mentioned in his letter. Poor guy.
How much?
Exactly how much did Mr. Harris borrow
Yeah,
from
I want to know how much.
Is that relevant to your investigation?
It might be,
It
actually.
would help to have an idea of exactly how much he owes you, yes.
I don't feel comfortable telling you the exact amount, but I will say it was over 500 crowns.
A considerable sum.
Like I said, probably shouldn't have done it, but I'll get the money back one way or another.
Okay.
What's your policy regarding people who don't pay their loans back?
Yeah, that's a good question.
There are a few options. For the first 3 months or so, I'll send them a letter reminding them. After that, I start to threaten them with legal action. You wouldn't believe some of the things people do to avoid paying back their loans. One client went so far as to fake his own debt.
At least you're not trying to
Do you ever
break their
employ
kneecaps.
any more unusual methods?
Now wait just a minute. I see where this is going. Mr. Fordham, I'm a family man myself.
This
If
game
you're
looks
implying that
interesting.
I'm
What's it
astute
about?
to kidnapping
Ah.
someone's child as collateral?
I never said that, Mr. LaFay.
Look,
One
I have
second.
a
I'll wait till
family
after they're
to
done
consider.
talking.
I'm not about to go get my hands dirty when there's plenty of legitimate ways to handle the situation.
Okay, so the game is an alternate timeline where the U.S. is still under British rule. It takes place in 1844. Steam tech, it's basically steampunk stuff. Steam tech is becoming more prevalent. So you have steam-powered machines, and they use blimps and stuff to get around in certain ways, and cars and stuff like that. And our friend here was a cop and had a partner. It counted my Prime resub now. Weird. Yeah, Twitch has been weird. Hi, Dodo, and thank you for the resub. I appreciate you, friend. But yeah, so anyway, Miles here and his partner Bill were cops on the force. They were doing an investigation. Bill ends up killed because he told Miles to take a shot when he was being held at knife point by a burglar. And, well, he took the shot, ended up hitting and killing Bill, and now Bill is kind of haunting him. And Bill and Miles communicate through Miles's mind. Miles has quit the force, is now a private investigator, and takes a kind of like sleeping drug or draft of some type to try to get Bill to stay out of his mind to get some sleep. Bill is pestering him to find the person that was responsible for the situation that got him killed. And that's where we are now. Steam-powered hams. I'm sure there is some steamed hams here. Steampunk hams. Right now, we're investigating a case of kidnapping. A upper-class couple had their child kidnapped while they were both not home, in separate places. The nanny had been asleep for some reason, not sure why yet. But they broke in, took the kid, and there was a button, and there was a piece of cloth left over. It had the marking SS on it. Or sorry, fabric, not cloth, but you know.
Take a look at this piece
And
of
that's where we're
fabric.
at.
Does it look familiar to you?
Sure, it looks like it came from a jacket. In fact, yes, it's the same fabric as the jacket I'm wearing.
Would you mind if I took a look at your jacket?
Sure, not a problem. Here.
Mm-hmm. Everything looks up and up.
No tears in mine, huh?
Not a one. You clearly take good care of your clothing.
I don't mean to
Ham
discourage
punk.
you, Mr.
It's bizarre but
Fordham, I've seen a
delicious.
lot of people with this style of jacket. Hell, even Malcolm has one. I remember he was wearing it when he came in here.
I see. Thank you for the information, Mr. LeFay.
Interesting.
I've got some more questions, Mr. LeFay.
Go ahead, then.
I like a good steampunk too.
Tell me a bit about yourself and your business, Mr. LeFay.
What's to tell? I lend people money, they pay me back.
Surely it's not that simple.
Well, of course I charge interest, otherwise I'd never make a profit. I know people don't look upon the service I provide very favorably, but without my help, there would be a lot more unhappiness in the world.
How did you go about starting up this business?
I didn't. My former employer, Mr. Roth, left it to me when he passed.
Oh, really?
That's rather good of him.
Yes, well, he didn't have any heirs, and he considered me to be the son he never had. He was fond of my family, too.
Well, that's
I try
nice.
and keep my work and home life as far
Yeah.
away from each other as I can, though. There's a lot of things in this line of work that my wife and daughter are better off not knowing about.
I think that's all for now.
I shudder to think how many people's financial freedoms are locked away in that cabinet. He actually has a degree in business from the University of New Britannia? What a waste. LeFay with a woman and a small girl. I wouldn't have taken him for a family man.
Really?
Must be soothing for LeFay to be able to look at this landscape while he sits at his desk.
I need to go check something. I just had a thought. Let's go back here.
Oh, Mr. Fordham.
Oh.
Oh, thank God you're back.
What's going on?
Our butler just brought this in. He found it stuck to the gate outside.
Oh, we got ransom then, huh? Harris family, we have your son. If you ever want to see him again, you must stop building the new airship. We are not joking. It's the same handwriting, too.
Ah, if only the flower shop burglar was as easy to find as this clue was.
There. I thought I might have been able to pick
the
that up after I
kidnapper-
left. Let's have a little
I have some
talk.
questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
I found this button in your son's crib. Does it look familiar at all?
No, not at all. Do you think the kidnapper might have left it behind?
I mean, that's a damn
It's a
good
distinct
possibility.
What is your opinion of this ransom note?
It's obvious who sent it, Mr. Fordham. Why are you wasting your time here? Go
No,
arrest Mr.
alternate Dick Cheney?
Devins.
Those are all the questions I had for now.
All right.
I have some questions for you if you're up to answering them, Mrs. Harris.
I'll try my best.
Alright, what do
Mr.
you
Fordham.
have for me this time? The button?
I found this button in your son's crib. Does it look familiar at all?
No, I don't recognize it. It looks like it came from some cheap coat. Is that what the ruffian who took my baby was wearing?
That's what I'm trying to determine. Did you read the ransom note?
No, Malcolm wouldn't let me. He said I was already too upset.
That's all for now, Mrs. Harris.
Very well.
Alright, let's go talk to the one guy again. Poor spelling, eats babies, must be Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney shoots babies. Eating doesn't really work unless you make him mush. Oh, Arthur.
Mr. Devins?
Yes?
Let's have a talk.
Do you recognize this button?
Can't say I do, but it looks handmade. I wonder how long it will be before the poor soul who crafted that button gets booted into the street and replaced with some steam-belching contraption.
Or Giuliani. There'd be more hair dye leaked everywhere.
Mr. Devins, can you tell me about this note?
I've never seen that before in my life.
Oh, haven't
Are
you?
you sure about that?
Absolutely. It's as I told you. I had nothing to do with that boy's kidnapping. I didn't even know he existed until you told me. Remember?
Yeah. And that note conveniently showed up right after you had that conversation. Let him stew in his own lines. His unique way of spelling is all the evidence we need to tie him to the note.
Very well, Mr. Devins. Forget I asked. Good day to you, Mr. Devins.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
mouse. Oh, good, she's gone. Rudy may take baby
I've
backwards
managed to
too
survive the
literally. He's
wild
not the
streets of New
brightest.
Britannia.
Fair.
Welcome home.
Let's talk to her. Come on.
Addie,
What do you need, dear?
you weren't kidding about business picking up. You're averaging what, about 3 appointments per day?
More like 5. I told you, debutante ball season's busy.
Doesn't it get tiresome?
Not really. You'd be surprised at the sort of gossip I hear from my clients. I don't know what it is, but they just open up to me and tell me all kinds of personal things. You sure you don't want me to give you a trim?
I'm fine for now, dear. Thank you.
Compliment her.
I'd
yes.
forgotten how good you are at écarté. You absolutely destroyed me the other night.
As I recall, you used to hold your own pretty well.
We should have another match soon. That way I can hone my skills.
Yes, we should. As long as you can concentrate, I'm sure you'll get as good as you used to be.
I can't believe the nerve of that narrow-minded old cow.
Yeah.
Who, Mrs. Delacroix? She's actually one of my nicest clients.
I don't know how you can tolerate her. If I were you, I'd strike her off my list.
If I did that for every one of my clients who thought the same as her, I'd be out of a job. That's just the way it is.
Maybe so, but it doesn't make it any less infuriating.
Baby, the other white meat. Baby, it's what's for dinner.
How are things going with you?
I'm a bit worried about some rumors I've been hearing.
Oh?
They're saying it won't be long before automated hairdressing devices are available to the public. Once that happens, it's going to be tough for me to keep getting jobs.
Automated hairdressing devices? How would those even work? Do they read your mind?
Doubtful. More than likely they'll have some kind of settings or just give everyone the same type of hairstyle.
I wouldn't worry too much, Addie. You're the best hairdresser in town. I doubt people will place their trust in some contraption over you.
Even today, they don't
underestimate
do
my
that.
clientele, Miles. They're mostly all rich socialites whose hobbies are buying the most expensive and modern things just to outdo their peers. They'll be sending their servants to line up for days before the things are released.
Perhaps, but they'll come running back to you once the machines stop working. You'll see.
I certainly hope so.
I'll let you get back to your book.
So nothing new here.
I shouldn't be gone too long.
Goodbye, dear. Love you.
Love you too.
Such a nice couple. Alright, let's go see what Constance is up to. Get some updates from her, maybe.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
How's work going?
Hectic as usual. Crime in this city seems to be getting worse and worse every day.
I suppose that's the price of progress.
God help us if they ever actually discover that ethericity stuff then. Things between you and Adelaide getting any better?
I'm really not sure. They haven't gotten worse, but things haven't been the same between us since Bill died.
Well, you need to figure things out, or everything is just going to explode in your face one of these days.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Upton.
I'm merely speaking from experience. If I'd seen the warning signs with Harold sooner, it would have saved me quite the headache. At least your marriage seems like it's still worth saving.
What's the other case you mentioned? The one you said was a higher priority.
Well, it seems we might have a mass murderer on our hands.
Really?
You don't say.
That's right. I didn't say because I shouldn't say. But so far, we've had 3 murders with a very similar MO in the past 2 months. Snelling is trying his hardest to keep it under wraps since the newspapers already caught wind of the first 2.
I don't envy the department there. I'm happy to stick with the missing persons and domestic disputes.
And let's review the
Can we
current
go
case.
over my current case?
Of course. What have you got?
I found this torn piece of fabric at the crime scene. It's got an emblem with some initials on it.
I recognize that emblem.
You do?
It's from Solomon Stitching, a little tailor shop in Lyon. My ex-husband had several jackets from there.
Sorry to dredge up old memories, but do you remember where they're located?
I believe it's on the corner of Bonneville Street and Surratt Avenue.
Fantastic. You're helpful as always, Upton. I found this button at the crime scene. Does it look familiar at all?
No, just looks like a cheap button to me.
I spoke with Henrietta Davis, the Harris family nanny.
A sensible place to start. What did she have to say?
She claims to have been unconscious when the kidnapping took place.
She must be an extremely heavy sleeper.
I don't believe so. The way she described it made it sound like she was drugged.
Interesting. Definitely worth looking into, I'd say.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
That's it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to it.
Alright. So we have a new place to go now. In Lyon. Here it is. Hello, Solomon.
Good day to you, sir. Welcome to Solomon Stitching. I'm Jonah Solomon. Please, let me know if I can help you with anything.
Mr. Solomon?
Yes, sir. How may I be of service? Oh, let me guess. You're looking to replace that old coat. It looks like it's got quite a few stories it could tell me.
You should listen to the man, Miles. He clearly knows what he's talking about.
Not today, I'm afraid. There's still a few more stories it has left to tell. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Questions? Very well, but if they aren't about tailoring, I don't know how much help I'll be.
This is a nice shop you have. I never even knew it existed.
Well, better late than never, I always say. Life has a funny way of always taking us where we need to go in the end.
True. Although I think it's easy to miss out on things from time to time.
Oh, of course. It's easy to overlook the details, but in the grand scheme of things, you'll end up where you need to be. And in this case, you ended up here. So, please, feel free to take a look around. Let me know if you find anything you like.
All right.
I found this piece of torn fabric with your emblem on it. Can you tell me anything about it?
Yes. Brown, wool, houndstooth. Nah, this is from one of the more popular jackets I sell.
Ah.
And here I thought my ability to name ales within 5 seconds of tasting them was good. This fella has me beat.
Do you have any of them in stock currently?
Well, sure. I've got one on the display dummy over there.
Is there any way you can tell me who you've sold them to?
Oh, I don't think so. I've sold at least 20 in the past month. As I said, it's a very popular style.
Button,
anything you can tell me about this button?
Looks like it's made of wood. Not very well crafted either. Definitely not from one of my products.
How did you get into this business, Mr. Solomon?
I was always good with a needle and thread. When I was a boy in Poland, I would help my mother with her sewing. Then, during the war with Russia, I fixed uniforms and stitched up wounds. Not long after that, I moved to Vespuccia, settled here in New Britannia. My first shop was in the Chum, but thankfully I was very successful and was able to move to Lyon. I won't lie to you, this location is much, much nicer. It's refreshing to not have to step over drunken hobos when I open and close the shop.
Oh, but that's part of the charm of owning a business in the Chum.
Not much else to say beyond that. My business is my life.
You seem very dedicated to your craft.
That's right. You won't see any of that newfangled steam-powered nonsense in here. Everything is done by hand and with care. I use only the finest quality materials and stitch every thread myself. And that's the way it's going to stay as long as I'm around. It's worked for 45 years. There's no reason to change as far as I'm concerned.
I'll be taking my leave of you now, Mr. Solomon.
Okay.
Very good.
Come to think of it, I have seen plenty of people wearing that design. No tears in this one, though. My grandmother had one like that. I think it was meant to be relaxing, but it always felt like my time was running out. Now that it has, well, it actually is relaxing. Go figure.
I mean, at least Solomon seems like a pretty, amicable person.
This guy has been in business forever. Isaac Samuels, the prime minister who freed the slaves. They say even his enemies wept on the day he died. I sure hope I get to meet him someday. Quite the selection, but I doubt the typical clientele of this place buys off the rack. That cloth will be a garment soon. A vest, by the looks of it.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm completely wrong, and it's a treasure map.
Yo ho, yo ho. We'll have to come back. Okay, where do I want to go? Let me think. Right. Back here to the wardrobe. Back into here.
You don't suppose...
It matches the piece of torn fabric perfectly.
So, this means...
Could mean many things. The only thing that's certain is that a piece of this jacket ended up on the floor of the nursery.
Technological evolution's a bitch. It'll
Mr.
catch it
Harrison
before you know it. It will, yeah. I mean, even now we're facing, atomization. you know, becoming more of a thing. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think how we handle it is where we need to focus. You know, make sure we take care of people. But automating things isn't bad.
I have some questions for you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, of course.
Mr. Harris, do you recall the torn piece of fabric I found in the nursery?
Yes, what about it?
As it turns out, one of the jackets in your wardrobe has a tear exactly the same size and shape as this one. Would you care to tell me how that happened?
That can't be.
It is.
I'm afraid it is. So explain it.
I have no explanation. The truth is, I haven't worn that jacket in weeks. I've no idea how it was torn.
Are you suggesting someone else took your jacket and wore it when the child was taken?
I don't know. Perhaps someone is trying to make it look as though I... But that's absurd. Why would I kidnap my own son?
Why indeed, Mr. Harris.
You really think he kidnapped his own son, Miles? Seems more likely he was set up. But he also doesn't strike me as a terribly good parent. Maybe it would serve him right to be blamed for this.
No.
We've done our part. The police can handle the search for the missing baby.
Yeah,
Those are all the questions
that
I have
doesn't
for
sit
now.
well with me.
All right.
Whoa, we have a raid. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Silly Shinobi, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Let's give a quick shout out and see what's going on here. Saints Row,
Always
nice.
in the right mindset to prepare and...
And unfortunately, with greedy folks having the self-awareness of a penguin, they'll run the automated machines to the ground and pray for the machines to be fixed. Yeah.
That hurts.
Oh! Oh!
So how was stream?
Can't be
And welcome. For those that don't know me, I am Xandros. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I play a variety of different kinds of games, RPGs, horror games, indie games, such as this one, which is a kind of point-and-click adventure, kind of in the 90s style, called Lamplight City. We are currently investigating a kidnapped infant, about 6 months old. And we're hot on the trail as our detective Miles here with his ex-partner Bill, who is dead, and talks to him through his mind. It's a weird thing. It was a good stream. I streamed the new Saints Row game. Yeah, I saw that. How was it? I've heard mixed things. I've seen some people enjoy it, saying even if it's not the best game in the series and not really a big step forward, it's at least fun. I've seen other people saying it's okay, it's a lot of fun. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's important when you stream to stream things you enjoy. It was super fun. Many explosions. See, explosions are fun. We appreciate a good explosion here. So, if the explosions are good, that's all that matters. So how many people have you strapped rockets to? That's the question. Or how many things have you strapped rockets to? Or how many things did you strap rockets to and then strap rockets onto the people and then put them in the things with rockets and just rockets all over? I mean, you gotta have the layers here. Oh, excuse me. Big God. And I ended stream by blowing up a meth lab. There was a meth lab on a tether. That's like a rocket, I guess. But I'm glad you got to have fun blowing up a meth lab. Though they kind of tend to do that by themselves. I speak from basic knowledge because I live in Ohio, and there was about 5 years or so ago, we were having problems with meth labs. So, you know. So let's talk to you.
Sit tight, Mrs. Harris.
Okay, good.
I may have more questions for you later.
All right, let's go talk to the nanny, who was miraculously asleep when the kidnapping happened, and in the same room. So, Please don't let the naked dolls be a problem.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Let's see.
I found this button in the baby's crib. Do you recognize it?
Why, yes. That's one of Barney's eyes.
Barney?
Charlie's stuffed bear. It's his favorite toy, a gift from my friend Linda.
I didn't find a stuffed bear in the nursery.
Then whoever took the baby must have taken
So
Barney
we have a
as well.
kidnapping of baby
at
and the
least
bear.
poor thing has something to comfort him.
A
Bless
lady
the
ran up to me in the
spirits.
grocery store and said that she knew me from the vegetarian meeting, but I never met her before. God damn it. We appreciate puns here, so you're gonna fit right in, Azure. In Florida, there's a phenomenon called shake and bake, where the meth labs are mobile and explosions are common. Yeah, we didn't have mobile ones. Just people doing, things they shouldn't have been doing. And thank you for the follow, Octave. I appreciate it. Please enjoy your new follower emotes, and we're gonna have fun hanging around here. So let's talk about Linda.
Who is Linda?
Mrs. Linda Walker. She's a good friend of mine.
Is she?
As I said, she gave me Barney as a gift for Charlie.
Can you tell me anything else about her?
Oh, she's a lovely girl, very much in tune with her spiritual nature.
Oh.
I greatly enjoy my conversations with her.
When was the last time you saw her?
Oh, I don't
Another
remember.
spiritualist slash occultist,
no,
huh?
wait. It was at the last Spectre Society meeting on the 19th. That's right.
Yeah, the occult was very big in the 1800s, even in this alternate history. It would make some sense, you had your seances and stuff like that, and sometimes they make meth in their cars. Big boom. Mobile boom. High-speed boom.
What is the Spectre Society?
It's a club for spiritualists and amateur investigators of the
Yeah.
paranormal. We meet twice a month to socialize.
That
and
just seems like a
discuss
bad
our
idea all around.
findings.
I see. Sounds fascinating.
Oh, I don't expect you to share my beliefs, Mr. Fordham.
Oh, I have a bit more experience than you'd think with regards to the spirit world.
You can say that again.
Where exactly do these meetings take place?
At a private residence in Gascon.
May I have the address?
Why, yes, it's 325 Rue Jameau. Are you going to seek spiritual guidance to find Charlie?
You know what? Why
Perhaps. You never know what might be worth looking into.
not? So we're gonna have to. We might have to go to the spirits.
Who did
then.
you say that portrait was of?
That is my late husband, Jonathan. He used to attend meetings of the Spectre Society.
Well, it
with
depends.
me
If the things are, that we love are made of
I tried to get him to
nitroglycerin,
be more in tune with the other side,
explosive
but I think he was
chemicals,
just humoring me.
or
He
bombs.
was a good man. Everyone at the society cared for him.
Babies
very
explode,
much.
just usually in a very messy way, and not in the funny, flashy way. It's usually the brown kind of way. Not fun. Those are the worst kinds of explosions.
Do you have Linda Walker's
Gotta
address?
say, I do not miss the
No,
baby
I
years
don't.
that much.
I never visited her home. I get the feeling she doesn't like having visitors or being home very much. She prefers to meet people elsewhere.
That's
I
interesting.
was the same way after my husband died. It was embarrassing for my friends to see me living so differently. But I feel it's not just a matter of pride for dear Linda. I think there are lots of bad memories associated with where she lives. I try to stay away from places like that. They leave a mark on the soul, you know.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Seems we have a new location now. So let's go check it out, the
I'll be
Spectre
going now,
Society.
Mrs. Davis.
May the spirits guide your path.
Here, I love, it's a fucking little ghost. God damn it.
Too dark to tell what's inside. You must enjoy the somber atmosphere.
There we go. Let's see what the spirits have to say about our current predicament.
Yes? May I help you?
Oh god, she has the hair tied, thing.
Hello, ma'am. My name's Miles Fordham, and I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Are you with the police?
No, I'm a private investigator.
I'm terribly sorry, darling, but I simply don't have the time right now. Perhaps if you come back next week, I'll be able to answer your questions then.
This is the Spectre Society, right? I'm interested in joining.
Ah, yes, it is. Welcome, darling.
Now you're something to
Our
talk to me.
membership process is a bit different to most social clubs. We require a sponsor.
Sounds simple enough.
Well, you see, we ask that sponsors be people who have passed on into the spirit world. Once you name your sponsor, I will attempt communication beyond the ether.
Ooh, we have
When
someone.
they answer, you will be judged and considered for membership.
What are you looking for in a sponsor?
This will be
A
fun.
willingness to communicate from beyond the ether, open-mindedness, a desire for truth. In other words, all the qualities of a member of the Spectre Society. Actually, we've had former members who have passed on act as sponsors before.
Oh, we got a sponsor, all right.
I've got a sponsor.
Excellent. What is the name of your sponsor, darling?
Bill Legere is my sponsor.
Seriously, Fordham? I thought you knew better than that.
Bill Legere. Very well. I will attempt to communicate
Yeah,
with
let's
him.
see how this is gonna go.
She can do this all day. It's not gonna work.
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble communicating. Perhaps you can come back and try again later?
See? Told you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
It's not his fault.
Oh, hello again. How may I help you?
I'd like to name a new sponsor.
Let's try a new one.
Yes, of course. Who is your new sponsor?
Jonathan Davis is my sponsor.
You knew Jonathan? He was such a kind man. Yes, I can feel his presence, and it speaks positively. Please, come in, Mr. Ford. I am Angela Maxwell,
boy.
the founder of the Spectre Society. Welcome.
Of course.
May I offer you some refreshments? Some water or tea, perhaps?
You're very kind, but I'm afraid I must decline right now.
Well, please let me know if you change your mind.
Let's see.
Won't you look at this place? It's like a candy store for psychics.
I love it. Yeah, sorry about the quality dipping like this right now. I don't know. My internet's being really wonky since I got home from work. It's been kind of slow. I don't know if it needs restarted again or what, but just bear with me tonight. I appreciate you all. Painting, are they going to tell me to come play with
Those are
them?
some creepy twin girls. I could see a passing resemblance to Miss Maxwell, actually.
It's a Luigi
I've
board.
seen one of these before. What does it do?
It's a spirit board. We use it to contact spirits, and they in turn spell out a message with the letters on the board.
Well, I've got a message from Miss Maxwell if she ever tries to use a spirit board around me.
Oh, please let it happen.
Spooky. That ghost between the two people almost manages to look convincing.
What a fascinating device. Exactly what does it do?
That is an etherometer. It's designed to pick up vibrations from the ether and translate messages from the spirits.
Ah, spirit box.
A great man once said to me, Bill, you aren't going to get very far in life just staring at balls. He's dead now. But then again, so am I.
I'm sure Bill stared at a lot of balls.
It's nice of Miss Maxwell to let people borrow her books, even if they are all just a bunch of nonsense.
That's what we got
And coming
here.
from me, that's really saying something.
We got Secrets of Astral Projection. I am not reading all this. Metempsychosis? Okay. Jesus Christ. The Art of Seance. Terrors of the Deep, the Giant Squid. Why is there that in here? She could probably be a good 3 a.m. YouTuber. Maybe. It's very possible. Oh, Grigri.
Chicken bones and dust for bad luck in business, huh?
Oh.
That sounds awfully familiar.
Oh, now we know what those are for. Mediums, gateways to the spirit realm. What lies beyond the veil? I'm just doing this in case it gives me any clues. If Ouija boards actually did work, it really wouldn't need the human to communicate. The ghosts would move the planchette themselves. Yep, they would. Marriage jurisprudence states the commonalities in recorded cases of spontaneous human combustion include the following characteristics. Victims are chronic alcoholics, usually elderly females. Hands and feet usually fall off. Fire has caused very little damage to things around the body. The residue of greasy and fetid ashes is left behind. Right. Tarot cards and spirits in the Aether. That's all we need right now.
The plaque says Leonora Pattinson, seer. She looks like someone I would not want to fool around with.
Alright, let's talk to Angela here.
Could I ask you about some things, Miss Maxwell?
Yes.
Certainly, darling.
Are my spirit waves a bit wonky?
What can you tell me about the Spectre Society?
Where to begin? I formed this club 2 years ago, right after I moved to New Britannia. During our meetings, we discuss our experiences with paranormal phenomena and organize investigations.
Lovely.
What sort of investigations?
We look into places all around the city which have been reported as haunted. New Britannia is teeming with the spirits of those killed during the French and British takeovers of the city. Not only that, but there is a prevalence of mystic religious practices here in Gascon, brought over by immigrants from the Antilles.
Fascinating.
There are plenty of books on the subject over there in the bookcase, if you're interested in learning more.
I've already learned. Other things I would say with that Ouija board, if I was a ghost, mostly obscenities, and knowing where these hucksters hide their money and fake ID collections. There you go.
Do you know anything about the kidnapping of Charles Harris?
I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about any kidnappings, darling. If you wish, I can commune with the spirits and see if I can help locate your missing person.
That would be helpful.
That won't be necessary, Miss Maxwell, though I appreciate the offer. I spoke with Henrietta Davis, and she mentioned one of your other members, Linda Walker. Can you tell me anything about her?
Linda. Poor dear. Of all our members, she is the one I feel for the most.
Oh?
Why is that?
She's had a tragic life, but I believe the Spectre Society has helped her greatly. Not only has she made a good friend in Henrietta, she's also dealt with her grief in a
Grief of
positive
what,
way.
though?
She has devoured my collection of books, educated herself on many subjects. I would say she's become an expert on clairvoyance and metempsychosis. It's always nice to know that the club can help those who have suffered.
Do you see her often?
Yes, she comes by about once or twice a week.
And of course, full-blown hauntings while assuming the form of an opossum with a tuxedo. Just a possum version of Tuxedo Mask. There you go.
What can you tell me about Linda and Henrietta's friendship?
It's so lovely to see them together at the meetings. They're practically inseparable. It's quite sweet. They often leave messages for each other in the guest book. When Linda found out that Henrietta was taking care of an infant, she even gave her a toy bear for the child. I remember Linda lighting up with excitement when she asked about him. She really loves children. It's such a terrible shame about...
Oh, no.
But please, let's discuss something more pleasant, shall we, darling?
I'm sorry, what was it you said? Madam Psy... what?
Metempsychosis, darling. It's a philosophical term which comes from ancient Greece. It refers to the transmigration of the soul after death.
Is that anything like reincarnation?
Essentially, yes. There's a book on the subject over in the bookcase, which can tell you far more than I possibly could.
Well, I've already read it.
What's this tragic story about Linda you mentioned?
Oh, dear. I probably shouldn't say.
Miss Maxwell, I'm going to be frank. I'm investigating a kidnapping, and Mrs. Walker is a person of interest. I need to know as much about her as possible to help me solve this case. Do I make myself clear?
Well, if it will help, Linda was married to a man named Thomas. Together, they had a son named Alexander. Thomas revealed himself to be a terribly cruel man. When he gave himself over to the drink, he would fly into rages and beat both Linda and the boy.
Ooh.
One day, she came home to find both her son and husband dead.
My God, what happened?
Jesus
The
Christ.
police ruled it a murder-suicide. Poisoning, apparently. Linda has been trying to make contact with Alexander's spirit for the past year or so, but has had no luck. It really is a terrible tragedy.
This game gets dark.
Do you know Linda Walker's address?
I'm afraid not, darling. Linda has always been somewhat private, and that's not something I consider to be crucial information.
Do you know any way I can find her?
You could always come back for our next meeting. It will be the first Thursday of next month.
By then, we'll have completely lost track of Charles. There has to be another way of finding Linda.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
What made you decide to start up this club?
I began communing with the spirits at a very early age.
Oh, did you?
My twin sister, Rachel, died after falling into an icy pond when we were 8 years old.
So those are pictures of her and her sister.
Oh, I appreciate your sympathy, darling, but don't feel too bad. Rachel began speaking to me shortly after that. She has served as my spirit guide ever since.
Spirit guide? You mean you still speak with her?
Oh, yes. Every day. In fact, I was just speaking with her before you
What
arrived.
about?
As I grew older, I realized there were others in the world who were also able to communicate with the spirits, and those who had an interest in what lies beyond the ether. And so, once I moved to New Britannia, I decided to start up this club so we could gather and share our experiences.
You suppose she can hear what I'm saying? Hey, Angela, try a bit less eyeshadow, would you? You look like a purple raccoon. Nothing. Clearly a fraud. Ah, well.
I was wondering,
Yes?
when you communicate with the spirits, are you able to stop?
If I wish them to leave me, yes. I bid them farewell, and they usually depart back into the ether.
What about the more persistent ones?
You do remember I'm right here, don't you?
Well, just between you and me. Those spirits are best dealt with by having the other kind of spirits. Quiets them right down.
I prefer soporific myself.
Oh? You hear the voices of the spirits as well, Mr. Fordham. But of course, now the reason for your visit to the Spectre Society is obvious. Do you see? All our paths eventually become clear. I'm glad yours has brought you here.
She's found a way in.
Oh, wonderful. Now she started rhyming. Don't get any funny ideas about telling her about me. She may be a lunatic, but that's no reason to expose yourself as one, too.
Thank you for the information. It was very...
Let's not tell her about Bill.
It was my pleasure, darling.
I'm gonna hold off on that. But we have the chicken bone thing to talk about with our old friend.
Now.
May the spirits guide you to that which you seek.
But we'll leave the Bill stuff for right now. Arthur, I'm back.
Mr. Devons?
Yes?
Let's have a little talk.
Do you practice voodoo, Mr. Devons?
What?
The chicken bones and dust you send along with your letters. It's a voodoo spell meant to cause bad luck in business. Quite a convenient solution, wouldn't you say?
I don't know what you're on about.
Come now, Mr. Devons. I'd appreciate it if you didn't think I was stupid.
All right, fine. I went to go see one of them magic women in Gascon. She told me about the spell and what I needed to do. I don't believe in the stuff, but I thought maybe if I used
What's
it, I
up?
could scare Harris
Hey.
enough to get him to stop
Glad to see you,
making a
friend.
new airship.
Give me
Well,
one
I don't
second,
mean
I'll
to be
give you a
one to put
shout out.
damper on your amateur witchcraft. Doesn't
How was
seem to do much
stream?
Good.
No, his grandson got kidnapped. That's not something I'd call lucky.
Good day to you, Mr. Devons.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
This Arthur Devons Joker is bad news. Not
Yeah,
only is he
hope everything
making
went
threats to
well.
the Harris
Glad to see
family,
you.
he also has the
For those
nerve
that
to
came
send
with
a
sec,
ransom note.
Bill,
We have enough
be
evidence
quiet.
to pin the crime on him, I think. The police can deal with the headache of actually finding the baby.
Yeah, that seems too easy. We're not gonna do that. So anyway, yes, Sec, hello. How was stream on your end? Let's see. You were doing some Destiny 2. Wow, that's 2 Zelda clips in a row. Oh god, never mind. Oh no. Oh no. No, no. Oh no, Sec. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I did not want to have more Dave. Oh god. So hope you're doing well, Sec. And for those joining me in Sec's Raid, welcome. Thank you for joining in. I am Xandros. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch. I know, right? And I stream various games. Best clip. We'll agree to disagree. I mean, it's better than what it could have been, so we'll go with that. But I stream RPGs, horror games. Fuck all of you. We love you too, friend. Yeah, horror games, RPGs, indie games. Like the one we're currently playing called Lamplight City, which is a point-and-click adventure game based on a detective who lives in an alternate timeline of the U.S. It was still under British rule in the year 1844. And their current case is a kidnapping of a 6-month-old from a higher-class family. And we've got some interesting leads, including a gentleman who is not too happy with this airship being built back here because his family, his wife was killed in an accident with the sister ship.
Cut, Harris! has no concern for the people who died aboard the Lygia or their families.
David store robbery mask. Yeah, that'd be creepy. Chicken bones, once used to tell fortunes, now an ingredient in Alex Jones's chocolate caveman drink. God damn it. Yeah, I don't think we're ready to say that he's guilty just yet. I'm trying to think. See if there's anything new.
I don't think he's gonna.
Is there anything I'm missing? I don't think it's that guy yet necessarily. Something seems wrong. Like something's off. I'm missing something.
I'll let you know if I have any more. Sit tight, Mrs. Harris.
Alright. Let's check with Mrs. Davis.
Hello again, Mr. Fordham.
All good, we can't have conversation.
I'll let you know if I have anything.
All right.
Crap.
I'll be going.
May the
We may have to tell her about Bill. Let's head home first. See if there's anything new here.
Ah, home at last.
Hello, Miles.
Addie?
What do you need, dear?
Oh, good, we have more conversation.
Have you ever heard of a group called the Spectre Society?
I think I had a client once who mentioned it. There's some kind of spiritualist group, right?
So it would seem.
I don't really know anything else about them, sorry.
I'll let you get back to your book.
Damn it. That wasn't a big help.
Have a lovely day, Addie.
Give my regards to Constance.
What am I missing?
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
I'm gonna do something. Before I do, we're gonna save. Wow, okay, another raid. Hello, it's Appleseed, how you doing? It is second raid. This is fourth raid, I'm sorry. Arcnon. Jeez, hello. Explode raid. Thank you. This raid's all around. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, real quick. Hello, double raid, yeah. For those who are just joining in on both of those raids, first of all, thank you very much for the raids. I appreciate the both of you. Welcome to the stream. I am Xandros. I am a variety streamer here on Twitch. I play various things, RPGs, horror games, the occasional platformer, indie games, such as the one we're playing right now called Lamplight City, which is a point-and-click adventure set in an alternate timeline, 1844 United States, that is still under British rule. Yeah, welcome. Before we go a little further, I want to do a quick shout-out for the two raiders that brought in their lovely communities. First of all, Appleseed. Thank you very much. Animals in this chest.
There's air holes.
There's always put air holes in your chests.
It contains tons of different materials, and then also 4 bunnies and 2 squirrels.
And of course for Arcnon, who also raided.
That's 72, yeah.
Yeah, so close.
What's the, oh, some D&D. We love D&D here. Very, very much love the aesthetic here. The Pokemon D&D stuff. I appreciate that.
Okay, but you're right. Somebody clip it.
It's not gonna happen. While I appreciate the community very much.
Geeky is 1.4K.
Yeah, I was playing Out of the Pokeabyss. I love good wordplay. Kudos. Just chef's kiss. So yeah, right now we're in the middle of an investigation for a 6-month-old child who was kidnapped from his room, out of his crib while his nanny was right there, apparently asleep. So some questionable things going on. Kenver, I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for the follow, very much appreciate it. Everyone is Pokemon, it's pretty fun. A Pokemon RPG would be interesting. I'd love to. There's a system out there, but you know, I've got to let my son sleep. See you later. You have a lovely night. Thank you for raiding in, and I hope it's a pleasant night's rest for your young one. I appreciate it. Or you need to get some sleep or let your son sleep. I'm confused. I don't know if it's a typo or not, but if it's you or your child, good sleeps all around. just doing 5e? Both? Okay, that's fair. As a parent, I completely understand. But you have a lovely night. Thank you again for the raid, and 5e is great. But yeah, have a lovely night. I got it first time? Hell yeah. I like it when I get things right the first time. It's not a really common occurrence, so I take them when I get them. So yeah, with the kidnapping, we found a torn bit of a jacket, which turned out to be the dad's jacket. That was in the room by the broken glass. There was a button from the bear that was given by a member of this society who lost a child. Marie, why are you doing this to me? Hi. Alright, we're going to be pausing the game for a minute for a pain or heal. Oh, I feel sorry for the new people just coming in. So, for those new here, we have a little thing called Pain or Heal. When it's redeemed, I spin this lovely wheel. And depending on what it lands on, we get to watch a video that is... I know, you told me last stream. I know. I just didn't see you come in, so I wasn't expecting it yet. So, it's fine. Okay, I'm exhausted. Let's take leave, but see y'all later. Yeah, you take it easy. Have a good night's rest, and hope we'll see you again here soon. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be streaming again, playing Persona 3. So, RPG time on that one. But you have a lovely night. But yeah, so depending on what we get with the spin, we'll watch a video, either something pleasant and enjoyable, or maybe something painful and aggravating, and maybe a little bit rage-inducing. It kind of depends. So let's see what we get. Hey! It's a heal! We get to something nice and enjoyably pleasant. So let's do that. Playing Persona 3 when Soul Hackers 2 just came out. Imagine being like that. Look, I'm holding off on getting the game right now. Gotta be careful with my money a bit. Trying to be responsible-ish, especially with the youngest birthday coming up. You don't get a reroll. You get one chance. Let's see. What could we watch that would be interesting and good? Let me see if there's anything in my subscription real quick that's come out in the last little bit that we could watch that would be interesting. That won't get copyright struck. It's a little long. Let's get a short one. How about we do... let's do a pitch meeting for some fun. Well, what if I did a reroll? Yeah, but I'm not gonna.
So, you have the next Harry Potter movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. And let me tell you, stuff's getting real bad in the wizarding world.
I better keep it down here
because
it's a headline.
Make these movies good anymore? No, that's gonna come a couple years from now. What I mean is that Voldemort and the Death Eaters are coming into
Love you,
power. Yeah, so Harry sends the Dursleys away for their protection, and Hermione wipes her parents' memories away. Jeez, she couldn't have done the protection thing too? Nope, and so they forget all about her, and she's erased from all the pictures in the house, and it's very sad. So they're just gonna think they have framed pictures of empty rooms and stuff? I guess so, yeah. What happens when they talk to anybody who knew they had a daughter, like friends or family? I don't know. Oh, Hermione's parents are in for some very confusing conversations. Probably, yes. So now the good guys need to help Harry escape by
that was always one of the dumbest
Death
plot
Eaters.
holes
How do
to
they
me.
do that? Well, like half of them are gonna take Polyjuice Potion to look like him, so it's gonna be this wacky scene with a bunch of Harry Potters changing into similar clothes. Oh, hanging out with a bunch of shirtless copies of yourself is tight. It sure is, sir. So they fly up to the clouds, but a bunch of Death Eaters are waiting for them, so it's gonna be this massive battle. Why didn't all the good guys fly into different directions? Unclear, but then Hedwig saves Harry's life and dies. Oh no, Bird Friend! And also Mad Eye Moody dies. Oh no, One-Eyed Friend, who was actually a completely different person for most of the time we ever saw him on screen. And because Hedwig tried to protect Harry, that gives away his real identity, so frickin' Voldemort shows up and attacks him. Those frickin' guys, they had some good bird loyalty intel, huh? They sure did, sir, so Voldemort attacks, but a wand
I bet Dodo would hate
hate
seeing that happen right now.
He does have some pretty fantastic plot armor, doesn't he? He truly does. So all the surviving wizards meet at the Weasleys' house to be safe from the Death Eaters. The house that was destroyed by Death Eaters in the last movie.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
So everything's okay now? But they would still know where it was, right? That's the safest place they could think of. That's what we're going with, so then it's time for a wedding. They're gonna have a wedding while they're all being chased by Death Eaters? Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing. They're like, maybe especially now it's important that we celebrate love and stuff. I guess that is a nice sentiment if it's like a little ceremony kind of under the radar. So then they have a massive wedding with a bunch of people and a bunch of Death Eaters attack it. Well, yeah, obviously, come on, wizards. So Harry and Ron and Hermione escape. And
It really is amazing, you know, just how bad the writing was for the books.
They're gonna break into the Ministry of Magic.
The movies got worse later on.
Because Umbridge works there and she has a Horcrux
Not to
locket
mention,
around her
Rowling's
neck.
just,
Jeez,
you know.
how are they gonna break in? They're gonna use Polyjuice Potion to pretend like they're 3 people that work there. Wow, you'd think the Ministry of Magic would have some kind of safeguard against that kind of thing. Well, they don't. It seems like people would do that kind of thing all the time. Like, how can they be sure about anyone's identity ever? Hey, shut up. And so they manage to get the locket and they keep going with their adventure. Oh boy, so what's next? Camping. What? So much camping, sir. They're gonna camp and camp and camp some more. Oh. All right. Campity, camp, camp, camp. Oh boy, are they gonna camp, sir. Okay, I got it. Okay, that's good. I got it with the camping. Can we move on from the camping? Not really, no. It's gonna be a while. Okay, does anything exciting happen while they're camping? A little bit, yeah. Like they take turns wearing the locket because it's evil and it does that thing to them. You know, like the ring in Lord of the Rings?
Oh, yeah.
Get attacked by Sean Bean? No, like it drives them a little insane.
Okay, that actually would have been pretty fun.
So that's not good.
Just
Man, Ron's
randomly Sean Bean
jealous of
character
Harry
comes in and starts like
Hermione, and
beating the shit out of
straight
him.
up leave. He's gonna stop camping with them. He's done with the camping, sir. Wow, that's pretty serious, I guess. They seemed really into camping. So eventually Harry's gonna find out that the Sword of Gryffindor is at the bottom of this frozen lake, and he needs it because it can destroy Horcruxes. Oh, that'll be useful, probably. Yeah, so he gets into this icy cold water to go get it, but that evil necklace starts choking him. Oh, been there. You got choked underwater by a necklace? Yes. Okay, cool. And so anyway, then Ron shows up and saves him. Oh, how did he find him? Well, it turns out that Dumbledore had left Ron this little thingy that lets you turn off lights, but that also lets you find your friends when you need to find your friends. Wow, magic sure
that light,
is
I forgot about
convenient.
it.
Those are wildly different features for a thingy to have.
Yeah, it's not like the magic world's filled to the brim of who knows what, including shapeshifters. Yeah.
With them. Oh, like what? Like it's gonna try to scare him with some spiders.
Now let's see Sean Bean beating up people as a ghost. That would be funny.
Harry and Hermione making out. That just seems like it would make him angrier and want to stab the locket. Yeah, that pisses him off, so then he stabs it. Yeah, really bad strategic planning there, Locket. What are you doing? Anyway, so then later some Death Eaters are gonna chase them through the woods. So they disapparate. No, see, they don't disapparate when I want there to be a cool chase or fight scene, and so this is one of those moments. Oh, okay, gotcha. So then they're about to get caught, and so Hermione decides to deform Harry's face, but the bad guys still see that he has a scar, so they're like, right. So they bring them all to Malfoy Manor, and all the bad guys are like, wow, I wonder if this guy with the Harry Potter scar that we caught with Harry Potter's best friends is Harry Potter or not. That's a tricky one for sure. So then they put them all in a cell, and Bellatrix starts torturing Hermione. Oh man, it's gonna be hard for them to get out of that situation. Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, see, Harry talks into this magical mirror shard that he has, and so that leads to Dobby, the house elf, coming to save
I'm gonna
him.
get some sleep. Have a good streams, and Cookie, thank you very much. You have a lovely night. Have a pleasant sleep.
Oh, I don't know.
And I hope tomorrow is another
so
good day.
Dobby saves them all, but
Take it easy, and
Bellatrix
hopefully see you here
manages to
soon.
kill Dobby. Oh no, little house elf friend. And then Voldemort's gonna manage to get this thing called the Elder Wand from Dumbledore's tomb, and now he's super powerful, and he makes some very cool lightning. Oh boy, here we go.
We had to get
It's
rid
about
of
to get
the
crazy.
former slave who didn't want to be a slave anymore because gotta have the slavery in
Well,
there.
go on. No. But we're done. Oh, that's extremely unsatisfying. Yeah, well, you know, we gotta cut this thing off somewhere if we're gonna do this new thing where we cut it off into 2 parts. Oh, that's right. We are doing that thing, aren't we? Wow, I wonder if that's gonna catch on. Hi guys, Ryan here. Thanks for watching that pitch meeting. If you hadn't noticed, pitch meeting is now on its very own.
Yeah. That was a fun time, wasn't it? Yeah. Getting into Harry Potter's a fucking rabbit hole, to be sure. Especially with mine and several people I know's opinions on Rowling and Rowling's writings and other people's expressions of the other problems with Rowling's writings that I didn't know about at first, and boy, does it make it worse. Anyway, back to the kidnapped kid. Because that's less depressing at the moment. right.
Could I ask you about some things, Miss Maxwell?
So we're going to talk to her about
Certainly,
Bill.
darling.
Let's see how bad this goes.
I don't hear the voices of all spirits, just one.
Miles, what are you doing?
Ah, you have a spirit guide. Please, tell me more, darling.
I wouldn't call him a spirit guide so much as a spirit nag.
This is a very, very bad idea.
Do you know who this spirit is?
Yes, it's my former detective partner, Bill. I shot him on our last case together.
You shot him?
He was on a roof being held at knife point by a burglar. They were too close. I took the shot, but missed, and hit my partner instead.
Oh my, you poor darling. Is he angry with you?
Well, he is now. He doesn't think it's a good idea to tell others about him. But normally, he's the same as he was in life. He just wants me to find the man responsible for his death. I've told him I'm really the one responsible, but he insists it's the burglar.
I see. This is quite the unfortunate situation. My advice to you is this. Spirits often know best. You do well to listen to him about keeping his presence to yourself. Not everyone is as open-minded as we members of the Spectre Society.
Huh. Maybe I misjudged her.
I know. It's been hardest keeping this from my wife, but I can't drive her away. She's all I've really got left.
Your story has touched me, Mr. Fordham.
Ooh, this might have
everything
actually
I
helped
can
us.
To help you and your spirit guide find peace. If I find anything out which
This might have actually been the right
I will
avenue.
contact you personally.
Thank you, Miss Maxwell. I appreciate it.
Well, that could have turned out much worse. I'm warning you, Miles. Tell anyone else about me, and I won't be so forgiving.
Thank you for the information. It was very enlightening.
It was my pleasure, darling.
Alright, but the slaves want to be slaves most of the time, and Hermione trying to stop slavery is actually the bad guy because they want to be slaves. Yeah, and activism to stop slavery. Well, that's just fucking cringe, right? I know what we should do. We should make the organization sound completely stupid. Let's call it Spew. No one will take it seriously then, because, come on, we all know that the house elves have a place in their society, and it's, under wizards. Ugh. The time I've ever seen Divergent was at a bargain bin and thought it was an X-Men Twilight hybrid knockoff. I have no idea. Never seen it.
I don't think there's anything...
What else?
I'll be going now.
There's something
May the
I'm
spirits
missing.
guide you to that which you seek.
What am I missing? What else can I find? All right, let's look at our casebook here. We got the letter. We have the torn fabric, which is from the jacket. He was at the racetrack. Drinking tea in the living room at 8:30 p.m. then passed out, woken. Okay. The face testimony among here has borrowed a large amount of coin. Okay. It's a very common jacket. The loose button is from Barney. And, okay. I feel like I'm missing something.
Hey, Addie. Here I am.
Seeing you come home always puts a smile on my face.
Let her read in peace.
Have a lovely day, Addie.
Apparently it's a Hunger
forward to
Games
your
style
return.
series where the people of that world only have one personality each, and each personality is divided into groups like the Houses of Hogwarts. Jesus Christ. What am I... There's gotta be something I'm missing.
Hello again, Mr.
I suppose...
Is there anything there? Let's see if there's anything on the books.
These are all books on...
Yeah, nothing there.
All right.
I'll let you know.
Okay, so nothing new. It is bad.
I'll be going
Yeah.
May the spirits guide your...
I don't think it's the protester. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's him. Let's go back. Let's go back here.
Welcome back. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Let's talk to him.
I think we've gotten...
Nope. Damn it. And anyone who has more facets to their personality is called a divergent. Jeez. eyes.
Judging from the position and the lock, this is likely where Mr. Solomon keeps his money. Impressive collection of pattern books. I wish I'd known about this guy when I was alive. I'd have asked him to make me a suit for my funeral.
Too late now. What am I missing? Alright, let's see if we can talk to them real quick.
I'll let you know.
No.
Sit down.
Why have not...
Harris, I wonder if they use...
We've not been able to talk to his dad, the grandfather. The early 2010s were dumb. Yeah.
Be careful not to... Look, you can see the balcony.
That would make it rather easy for someone to...
No evidence of what was used to smash the glass, though.
That's the thing, too. We haven't found that. I read the first Divergent book. It's like Hunger Games, but people get sorted into a district, but the districts are all things like warriors, scientists, farmers, etc. And all, like, the main character is special because her sorting test says she can be in any of the houses, but that's bad because it means she has free will and the government can't have that. But the sorting lady, instead of doing her job and killing her, just lets her go. It's really fucking bad. Yeah. Instead of a bad Twilight knockoff, it's a bad Hunger Games knockoff. What am I missing? There's gotta be something. Maybe if I look in the bedroom again. Oh!
There's a handwritten note among the
Oh!
clothes.
Miriam, baby, I have to see you tonight. It's been far too... Ooh! Jackpot! Miriam! We had to have a talk,
I have
you
some
and
questions
me.
for you if you're up to answering them, Mrs. Harris.
I'll try my best, Mr. Fordham.
Someone's been doing something naughty.
I found this note in your bedroom. What can you tell me about it?
I've never seen that note before in my life.
Are you absolutely sure?
Mr. Fordham, you mentioned you valued discretion. I ask you to please exercise some now.
Would it be possible to speak about this in private? In another room, perhaps?
Out of the question, Mr. Fordham. I shall not leave this sitting room in the company of another man if my husband is not present.
Yes, I understand. Let's put the subject on hold for now.
What a life these rich people lead. All the money in the world and they're trapped like rats.
That's all for now, Mrs. Harris.
Very well.
Hey Arthur, do you know your wife has a secret note?
I'll let you know.
The only fusion I can appreciate is Fusion Demons and SMT
Sit
games.
tight, Mrs. Harris.
The third book is in the Divergent series reveals that divergents are the desired result of a repopulation experiment. Oh boy. Alright, let's talk to Constance real quick. Yeah, I don't think I could stand reading that book series.
Go on, I'm listening.
Can we go over my current case?
Of course.
Have you ever heard of the Spectre Society?
I think so. They're some sort of ghost hunting club, aren't they?
A spiritualist group, yes.
Don't tell me this case has taken a turn for the supernatural.
Not exactly. It's just come up as a potential lead.
I tried reading the second book and like the first 4 chapters were just like the main character sitting around in the science district being horny for 2 guys. Oh boy. One of who literally physically abused her in the first book. Oh god, and being angsty about it. Like a third of the way in and nothing happened, so I stopped reading. God damn it. What is up with these authors and like abusive men are just, we can fix them bullshit. Oh my god. Just stop.
Are you familiar with the term metempsychosis?
No, what is it?
Apparently some mystics and philosophers maintain that it's a
Very
process
fundy?
whereby
Oh, I
human
wouldn't
and
doubt that
animal
one.
souls are transferred to new bodies upon death.
Fascinating. Some people have such queer ideas. What's that got to do with the kidnapping, though?
I'm not exactly sure yet.
Sometimes I'm jealous of all the odd things you detectives get to look into.
Evangelical Christian.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to it.
Which is why I started reading them at all, because I was
Welcome back,
homeschooled
Mr.
and still in high school.
I don't think there's any...
Damn it.
I never much cared for all that mystic stuff. Why should your life be dictated by a bunch of cards? There's quite a few members in this group.
Let's read the guest book. Maxwell, Monica Brown, Sophia Shaw, Thomas Gilbert, Linda Walker. I can't read that one at all. Oh. Henrietta Davis. Wilkins. Angela, the meeting was wonderful. Cynthia. Anyone interested in a used spirit board, please let Thomas know. Thank you. Linda, looking forward to having you over at the manor next week. Come around 8 p.m. and you can meet Charlie. Oh.
There's quite a few...
Oh. Really? And why is it always the funniest to make horrible, horny books? Because they're repressed. And a lot of times they're just horrible people, so they're horribly horny and repressed. And make horrible books about horrible, horny, repressed people. Yeah, what was the dude's name? Like 3 or something? Because he got the fear shot and only had that many fears to go through, where most people will go through like a dozen. And she only had like 5 fears or something too. Turns out they were both divergent. Classic. Something repressed urges. Pretty much, yeah.
I don't think there's any... There's quite a...
Why is it not letting me, like, look through these? Like, click anything?
The plaque says...
Now, let's look through the books again. I'm just doing to see if something will click. And I don't mean me click on something, I mean just something clicks. And like it shows something. So close, Marie, you've been waiting for it. You and Crypto both.
May this...
Let's see, can I talk to you? It would explain Bigfoot
Hello?
erotica.
I have some questions.
Oh, good. It did show it. The guest book.
Mrs. Davis, have you ever had Linda visit you at the Harris Manor?
Oh, no, of course not.
And would you care to explain your note to her in the Spectre Society guest book?
Please, Mr. Fordham, I didn't mean to lie to you. It's just that it gets so lonely by myself in the house at night. So every now and then, I invite Linda to come over for tea and
You
some
could have
company.
explained this shit.
I see. And when was the last time this happened?
2 nights ago. Please don't tell Mr. and Mrs. Harris, Mr. Fordham. If they found out what I was doing, they'd have me dismissed without a reference.
I won't, but I'd very much like to speak with Mrs. Walker. Do you have any idea where I can find her?
All I know is that she works as a seamstress at a
Oh.
shop in New York, but I don't know the name. I'm sorry, I can't be of any more help than that.
I think we know the shop. We know
Thank
the
you for your
shop.
time, Mrs.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I read up until the 3rd book in the Divergent series when they break out of the simulation and out into the world, which is actually recovered from the apocalypse. They're just doting on this experimental community of people being tied to certain behavioral patterns by chemical influences. Fucking Christ. Worse than goddamn Maze Runner, where they put kids in mazes because for some reason they can make people immune to the zombie virus. What the fuck?
I'll be going now, Mrs.
May the spirit...
People are weird when it comes to some of the shit they write. Shall we ask you about a seamstress?
I've got some more questions for you.
All right, I'll do my best to answer them.
Alright, Solomon, I trust you.
Do you by chance employ a seamstress named Linda Walker?
I do, yes.
Is she here?
No, she has the day off today, but she'll be in tomorrow.
Would it be possible to have her address?
Begging your pardon, but why should I give it to you?
I'm a private investigator, and it's crucial to this case.
Well, as I said, she'll be here tomorrow. You can ask her then.
It really is a matter of some urgency.
I'm sure it can wait a day.
But
if it were really that urgent, I would think the police would be involved, not a private investigator. I'm not obligated to tell you anything, so please, let's move on before I lose my patience.
Please, Mr.
So you...
I know I said I was a private investigator before, but there's a more delicate reason I want.
Oh?
Her son, Alexander, and mine were schoolmates. I just found a book he lent my son, and I wanted to return it. I've been trying to track her down for ages, and only just found out where she worked.
Oh, I see. It was a terrible tragedy what happened with her boy and her husband. I know how private Mrs. Walker is, but I'm sure she would appreciate you returning her son's book. All right. She lives at 403 St. Agnes Street.
These fucking breakthroughs, fucking finally.
Remember when you couldn't even bring yourself to trick people into thinking their shoelaces were untied? You've come a long way, Miles.
I'll be taking my leave of you now, Mr. Solomon.
Very good.
I binged all the Maze Runner movies in like a single sitting and still feel like it was just a fever dream. That's your own fault, Robot. You should know better. Actually, it's you we're talking about. You don't know better. Sorry, I was just fixing that. First Maze Runner was kind of interesting. A bunch of kids are locked in a maze that changes every day and is stalked by monsters. They don't know why or how to escape, but when they break out, suddenly it's a zombie story. Yeah, weird. Now then, shall we go to the Walker residence?
It says here that Linda Walker is in the upstairs apartment, and someone named Douglas Emafiel is under the stairs.
Let's check out with Douglas first. I have a feeling.
What? Who are you? Are you from the Steamworks?
Afraid not, sir.
Damn. Oh well, what can I do for you?
Do you know Linda Walker?
Of course. She lives upstairs. Who's asking?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm trying to find Linda so I can speak with her.
What's your business with her?
I'm afraid that's private.
Well, she's out right now. You'll have to come back another time if you want to visit her.
Yeah, it was a good thing I touched him first.
Have you got any idea when Mrs. Walker will be back?
Not for a few days. She told me she was going away for a bit.
Really?
Ah, that reminds me. She asked me to water her plants while she was gone. Just need to remember where I put the spare key.
Why did you think I was from the Steamworks?
Because I contacted them a few days ago when my boiler broke, and nobody has come to repair it yet. I should have known better. Those fools always take their time, if they even bother showing up at all. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in here with nothing but cold water. If I catch pneumonia and die, you'll know who to blame.
Yeah, Xanadu, I like teenage come-of-age stories and dystopian fiction. I also like country music, so my taste in media is suspect at best. I mean, coming-of-age teen stories are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. But dystopian fiction's fine. Mixing them is a bit weird, but, you know. As far as the country music, yeah, that one's, that's beyond me. That's all on you. I don't know, Robot. We checked her butthole.
Did you say something about having a spare key to Mrs. Walker's apartment?
Sure. I'm her landlord. I look after the place when she's gone. Got a bit of a green thumb, that one, so she puts me in charge of watering her plants. The trip up is a bit of a pain, though. My hips aren't what they used to be.
We can do it.
Sorry to bother you, sir. I'll just be on my way.
Nightly thoroughly, sometimes Husbot helps.
It says here that Linda Walker... Miles, what are you doing? You don't know the first thing about steam engine repair.
It can't be that hard to work out.
If you're serious about getting it fixed, I'd suggest looking for someone who knows about this sort of thing first. But if you just want to charge in blindly, be my guest.
I have to try.
It won't go any further in that.
Okay, let's try right.
It won't go any further.
Find fuel source.
What am I missing? Okay, that kind of scared me.
It won't go any.
Hmm. Hmm.
Find fuel.
What am I missing?
It won't go any further.
These pipes are connected to the flue. They must heat up the water in this overgrown tea kettle.
Yeah, but I don't know what the fuck to do.
Find fuel source.
Yeah. Ooh. So we want to go to the left. Yeah, let's try it the other way. Hmm. Yeah, that didn't work. Ah, fair, yeah. I don't know how I got it started last time. Let's close the flue back. I fucking had it.
Fine.
Damn it. Ah, fair. Oh, wrong thing. I clicked off by accident.
I don't think you should.
Alright.
Find fuel source.
Oh yeah, close the door. Thank you.
It won't go any further in.
Let's turn that one back down. Okay, so it needs to be in the middle. And then we...
Well, color me impressed. You're either extremely
Robot, thank you
lucky
for
or
pointing
you've
that
done
out
this
for me.
sort of thing
Appreciate it.
before.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Yes? What is it?
I fixed your shit.
I fixed the boiler for you.
What? Are you serious? It's pretty pathetic when some yahoo off the street does a better job than the people paid to do this sort of thing.
Well,
I owe you, friend.
I'm a private detective, and it's of the utmost importance that I get that key from you.
Is that right? Is Mrs. Walker in trouble? Has she done something wrong?
I'm not entirely sure yet, which is why I need to take a look inside her apartment.
You're welcome to come with.
I see. Well, I wouldn't normally do this, but you did me
Ooh,
a great
look at
service
that.
by fixing
Quid
the boiler.
pro quo, baby.
I can't just give you the spare key, but I can let you into the apartment.
That'll be just fine. Thank you.
And we're in.
What in the ether?
Cripes, did a tornado come through this place or what?
Oh boy.
Looks as though she definitely left in a hurry. I wonder if she planned on ever coming back.
I'll be waiting for you in the kitchen.
Sounds like
Mr.
Richard
Fordham.
Epcar. I mean,
Just
possibly.
let me know when you're done looking around.
You can look up the voice actors for the game. Maybe you'll find out. I don't know.
Torn apart. She took most everything. Well, it doesn't appear she had much to take. I thought my apartment was messy. The books she left behind are all trashy romance novels. Why wouldn't she take those? They're clearly the best ones. That bit of torn wallpaper looks almost deliberate.
Well, let's check it out.
What do you know? She hid a book behind the wallpaper. Looks like a journal.
Ah. April 5th. I don't believe it. Can it be true? At tonight's meeting, I struck up a conversation with Henrietta. Charles Harris was born the day Alexander died, and he has blue eyes. Oh no. I know I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but this is too perfect to be a fluke. To be sure, I need to find something of Alexander's appropriate for an infant. His old bear, maybe? Charles loved Barney. Henrietta told me she's never seen him react with such joy to any of his other playthings. There's no doubt now in my mind. Fuck. Charles Harris is the reincarnation of my beloved Alexander. At last we can be together again. At last I can seek his forgiveness. I just need to find a way to take him from his false parents without getting dear Henrietta in trouble. I had the nightmare again last night. Alexander's cries of, "Why did you do it, mother?" were nearly too much to bear. When I have him again, I can finally explain that I couldn't do anything to stop him. Thomas was a monster, and I was at my wit's end. Dear Samuel had helped me so much, and there was no turning back once he had consumed the tainted pie. How was I to know Alexander's friend would take ill, and he would arrive home early? Watching my boy share the poisoned meal with his father was the worst moment of my life. I must get him back. Finally, after months of thinking, I have a plan. Samuel's instructions on the nature of plants has been the key. I will visit Henrietta tonight at the Harris residence to repair everything. It must look as though a burglar entered the nursery and tore his coat. In 2 nights, I'll have my baby again. Jeez.
Well, this is pretty damn incriminating.
I'll say. Now we just need to figure out where she's gone, as well as how she managed to drug Mrs. Davis.
Fucking Christ.
Oh, we've got you now, Linda. Thought you could be clever and get away with the baby, did you?
Bill?
Well, you thought wrong. With Fordham and Legere on the case, the only thing you're getting is a one-way trip to jail.
Bill?
And the worst part is how sloppy she was. I mean, really, she couldn't think to pick up a button?
Oh, wow.
She might as well have left a signed confession in the crib for all the good it did her.
Bill, would you just shut up, for God's sake? Huh? Is everything all right?
Yes, everything's just fine. I just stubbed my toe on the bed frame.
You ought to be more careful, Mr. Fordham.
Sorry, Miles. You know how I get when we're close to solving a case.
You always do this. I need to concentrate, and I can't hear myself think with you yapping away.
Right. Sorry. I'll keep it to myself.
Ugh.
Thank you.
But you have to admit, she really would have saved us the trouble if...
Bill.
Right. Not another peep. As you were. It's a boy. Can't be more than 7 or 8 years old.
Scary thing is,
That's
there are
Linda's
people who
son.
think like that.
Why would she leave us
Yeah.
behind?
Because she thinks she's got the real thing again.
Also add,
Nice patterns. I wonder if Linda makes all her own clothes. A fairly recent model. Linda must have spent a good portion of her wages on it. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to have my fill of plants and flowers.
Let's see what the notes say. We'll need them for clues, probably.
There's a handwritten note here. Valerian mixed with chamomile, sedative effects, deep sleep.
Seems Mrs. Walker's an amateur herbalist.
Maybe not so amateur. I'd love to see the look on Mrs. Davis's face if she knew it wasn't a spirit that possessed her. In fact, let's go tell her, so I can see it.
You've gotten fairly misanthropic in your death, Bill.
Have I? I hadn't noticed.
I don't think there's much else here. Just double checking.
Well, at least that painting cheers the place up a little bit.
Nothing there. Check the notes, check the flowers and that. Wardrobe's already been checked. That's checked. Oh, there's something in the trash pile, maybe.
You're actually gonna dig through that mess? Sure hope it's worth it. A receipt with yesterday's date. One-way train ticket to Pierre in Lorraine. Departed this afternoon.
We think we know where they're going.
Thought she could get away easy, it seems. Well, I hate to disappoint her.
Alright. I think that's all we're going to find.
I hope you were able to find out what you needed.
Yes, thank you for your cooperation.
Alright, first things first. This one needs to learn a little quick lesson.
Again, Mr. Fordham.
Stern walking.
I have some questions for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Mrs. Davis, where did you get the tea you drank on the night of the kidnapping?
From my own private supply, I drink a blend of hibiscus and elderberry. It clears the mind and puts me more in tune with the spirits.
Did it taste off to you?
No. Why do you ask?
Because I think your tea may have been drugged.
Wait, are you saying?
I believe Mrs. Walker used her own herbs to drug your tea, knowing you'd drink a cup the following evening. She then snuck into the house after you'd fallen asleep and took the child.
Oh my word, I never would have thought.
I know, Mrs. Davis. But don't worry, I'm doing everything I can to find her.
May the spirits guide you, Mr. Fordham.
Thank you for your time, Mrs. Davis.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I'm sorry I was such a negligent jackass.
I'd say we have everything we need to prove it was Linda who drugged Mrs. Davis's tea and took the child. And we know where she's going, too. Upton will want to know about this as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I'll be going now, Mrs.
May the spirits...
I don't think we can talk to her about R now, but it's worth a try.
I'll let you know if I have any more.
Sit tight, Mrs. Harris.
Well, I mean, there's no point in talking to her about R, so whatever. She's having an affair. I wonder.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
I don't think there's any...
Okay, there's nothing else to say.
I'll be going.
May the spirits guide.
Not, no. I mean, at least you checked.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Time to review the case. Or wrap
I'm ready
up.
to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
He is prolific.
It was Linda Walker,
Who is she?
a seamstress who befriended the Harris family nanny. She took the child because she believes he's the reincarnation of her deceased son, whom she accidentally poisoned.
My God.
You'll find a journal explaining her motive at her apartment, as well as the plants she used to drug Mrs. Davis.
But what about the broken window in the nursery?
All part of a false crime scene she set up to draw our attention away from her.
Excellent work, Miles. Did you manage to find out where Mrs. Walker is now?
Yes, I found a receipt for a one-way train ticket to Pierre, which departed this afternoon.
Fantastic. We can send a
Private
telegram
Ford?
to the train
Nice.
station and have her arrested upon arrival. You've done extremely well, Fordham. Snelling could only hope to have a detective as good as you again.
You flatter me.
Then I'd better stop before your head gets any bigger. All right, Miles. I'll go through the proper channels
I've
and
read
report
case
your
files
information
involving
as an
women
anonymous
and
tip.
men who go
And
to
of
hospital
course, I'll
maternity
dip into
wards
the
and steal and
department's
try
Good
to steal
Samaritan fund
infants
to get
under
you
the
proper
illusion they're actually
compensation
their
for your
children
work.
somehow stole from.
For now,
Yeah.
go home to your wife.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll
people
have
can
something
be
else for you to look into fairly soon.
terrifying.
Welcome to Lorraine. An awfully cute baby you got there.
Oh, thank you, sir. This is my son, Alexander.
Alexander. That's a good name. Strong name.
Yes, thank you. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in a bit of a hurry and I need to get to my hotel.
Of course. I won't keep you any longer, Mrs. Walker.
Thank you. Wait. How did you know my name?
I didn't. It was a lucky guess. But now, seeing as I know your name, allow me to tell you mine. I'm Sheriff Zeke Dollarhide. Linda Walker, you are under arrest for the kidnapping of Charles Harris. Surrender the child and come with me.
No, you've got it all wrong. This is my son. This is my Alexander.
Ma'am, please don't make this difficult. Come along to the station and we'll get this all sorted out.
Addie, are you home?
Still at her appointment, it would seem.
Well, he voiced
You know, Miles, I have to say,
Bateau and
I'm proud of you. Why is
Bateau
that?
and
It's
Ghost in the
because
Shell, and of
you
course old
actually
Joseph
listened.
Joestar. Oh
So
no!
does this mean you'll keep quiet until morning?
I said I was proud of you. I didn't say you were getting a reprieve.
And I need to figure out how I'm going to sleep through the night without the soporific.
You worry about that too much, Miles. You can sleep when you're dead.
You don't ever seem to.
That's because I slept quite enough when I was alive.
In any case, I need to clear my head. The best way to do that after a case was always going for a drink at the Angel.
One of the few men you go straight
You
for.
haven't been there since...
Since you died. But perhaps getting back into old routines will help.
Perhaps. It would be nice to see old Patrick again at the very least. Then it's settled. A drink or two at the Angel, for old time's sake.
Whew. My Otismon from the original Digimon series. Nice.
I have to say, it's been a real pleasure having you back, Miles. I was worried about you.
I appreciate your concern, Patrick. The past few months have been a bit rough, but it's good to be back in familiar territory.
Miles, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Well, it may be none of my business.
Oh,
and you
boy.
can feel free to tell me to stuff it.
Enough with the preamble, Patrick. Just ask.
I know you quit the force, but why are you still working as a private investigator? Why not leave all that detecting stuff behind?
It's all I know. My grandfather was a cop, my father was a cop, so I became a cop. That's just how it went.
Oh, I hear ya. I come from 3 generations of butchers myself, but I broke the streak because I can't handle the sight of blood.
If only that had been true in my case.
Now then, will you be wanting another drink?
I'm not sure. I've already had 2. I should probably be getting... Wait a minute. Patrick, do you hear something?
No, Miles. I don't hear anything.
Neither do I. Another gin, if you please.
Oh no.
Coming right up.
He's gonna get drunk off his ass.
I must have taken a wrong turn back there. Hopefully Addie won't hear me come in.
Uh-oh. I still think of the time in Innocence where Togasa and Bateau show up at a Yakuza joint to ask some questions, and Bateau just pulls a minigun out of his trunk and wastes the place, and Togasa is like, we wanted to question them. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Excuse me, sir. Could you spare a shilling?
Here you are, my good man.
You always were willing to help the less fortunate, weren't you? But perhaps you should start thinking about helping yourself.
I beg your pardon?
Just look at yourself. I may be a beggar, but even I feel sorry for you.
You. I know you.
Yes, that's right. I'm your biggest failure.
What are you talking about?
Come now, Miles, you're not completely stupid. You think finding and catching me is going to make things better?
Yes, I do. I owe it to Bill, and that's enough to make it worth doing.
That's very touching. But you need to face reality. Let's say you do find me, and this grand chase finally ends. What do you do the next morning? You still have a dead partner, no real job. Your wife knows you've been keeping things from her. Even if you solve 100 cases, it won't relieve that empty feeling inside.
What's your point?
I'm all you've got, Miles. Once I'm gone, there'll be nothing left. So just admit it. You don't want to find me.
I wonder if this is
Not
real.
really.
Yep.
Bad dreams?
You could say that. My head. How many drinks did I have last night?
You're asking the wrong person. I was out after the first one.
It seems Miss Maxwell was right about the effects of spirits. Go figure.
Yeah, well, let's not make a habit out of it, all right?
And yeah. I'm gonna stretch a minute. Bato is the ultimate troll. He just walks up to a criminal dog, taking a piss, says hi, and grabs a dude's head and drags him out the window. Jesus Christ. Never do that. It's like, don't fuck with the guy while he's peeing. It's just a messy situation waiting to happen. Alright. Let's go a little longer, I guess. A hydrate it is. Thank you, robot. Appreciate it. And drink has been drunk. Let's, move it along, shall we?
So, you're up at last.
Is something the matter, Addie?
Oh, I see. You don't remember last night, do you? I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Oh, boy.
Please tell me I didn't do anything stupid last night.
No, I wouldn't use the word stupid.
Oh, thank God.
Disgusting and shameful would be more appropriate, I think.
Oh. What did I do, exactly?
It was nearly 2 when you burst in here, soused to the eyeballs from God knows where. I imagine you've probably forgotten that, too. You were muttering something about peace and quiet and then proceeded to relieve yourself on my begonias before stumbling into bed.
Charming. I salute you, O Vice Admiral of the Narrow Seas.
Good God. How embarrassing. I'm so sorry, Addie. I don't know what came over me.
I don't either. I've never seen you in such a state, and I pray that I never will again.
You won't see me like that again, ever. Trust me.
What possessed you to go out and get so drunk, anyway?
I decided to stop taking the soporific. It was interfering with my ability to focus on cases. I thought perhaps having a drink or two would help me sleep, and I got a bit carried away.
I see. Well, I'm at least glad you've stopped taking that terrible medicine. But trading it for alcohol? This had better really be a one-time occurrence. Anyway, you got another message from Upton. It's there on the table, if you're feeling fit for the world now.
Oof. Oof. Yeah. It's the best thing to do after a night of spirits. Yeah. It's Bateau not knowing for stealth. Not know for stealth or so. Yep, not at all. Also, it's canon that Bateau has no dick. He's a combat model mass-produced during the war with no parts. There was an episode where Section 9 was investigating a potential terrorist, and it turns out it was he was a war buddy of Bateau, and Bateau just talks him down partially through commiserating with how their government really fucked them over. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, let's see what's up with Upton. Fordman, new case has come in, but the police are already investigating. Details have made their way to newspapers. I won't be able to meet you at Rowan. So here are the details. The deceased is Desiree Latham? Lathan? I don't know. Our apartment is at 840 Right Way. Good luck. Alright.
Huh.
What does Upton say this time?
That she can't meet me, and that I should go straight to the scene of the crime.
I wonder if that means the police have started to suspect that she's giving you these cases.
She also says news of this case has been made public, and the police are already investigating. Have you heard of Desiree Latham?
Yes, there's something about her in today's paper. I didn't read the article, though. Where's the crime scene?
840 Right Way. It's not too far from here, thankfully.
You're sure you're feeling up to this today?
I'll be fine. The mental exercise will get me back to normal in no time.
Okay, then. Let's check the newspaper, then. Harris baby found. Suspect in custody. We did a good job right there. Charles Harris, infant son of Malcolm and Miriam Harris, was kidnapped days ago from his crib at the Harris family manor. Police investigators determined that Linda Walker, a friend of the baby's nanny, was the kidnapper. Walker was arrested in Pierre, Lorraine, after fleeing New Britannia with the child. Charles is second in line to inherit the Harris Construction Company, a large contractor in New Britannia, is currently building the HMS Lenore, the airship intended to replace the fallen Legia, I forget how to pronounce it now. Chief Police Reginald Snelling issued the following statement. My detectives should be commended for the outstanding work they did in finding the baby, Charles, and bringing him home safely. Let this be a lesson to all criminals that the New Britannia police always get their suspect. Yeah, totally was them. Gaston Grand Dame found burned to death. Oh boy, this is going to be a human combustion case. This will be fun. Desiree Lathan, age 63, was found burned to death in her home yesterday morning. Police were called to the scene by a neighbor who smelled smoke, only to find the grisly scene. Miss Lathan in her bed, body burnt to ashes. The circumstances of Miss Lathan's death are unknown, but the police have not ruled out the possibility of foul play. Lathan was born in New Britannia, the daughter of a wealthy plantation owner. She grew to become one of the most loved and respected of the Gascon Grand Dames. Although she had many suitors over the years, Lathan never married, and avid reader, writer, and poet, Miss Lathan had several articles published in local newspapers and magazines. Residents of Gascon said they would miss her, seeing her in her brightly colored hats and dresses as she walked by. Interesting. And a third murderer has police on edge. Yet another murder in Chumley has the New Britannia police scrambling to quell rumors. Chief Police Reginald Snelling vehemently denied that there is a mass murderer stalking the shadowy corners of Lamplight City. We have no indication whatsoever that these recent Chumley murders are in any way linked. In any case, detectives are working their hardest to make sure the killer or killers are found and brought to justice, he said. The Gazette has learned that the latest victim is Enos Bowditch, a construction worker. Police were called to his home, where they found him with a single gunshot wound to the head. Despite Chief Snelling's claims to the contrary, the previous two victims also had been men in Chumley who had been killed in exactly the same manner. The Gazette will continue coverage of this story as more details emerge. And the last one, Prime Minister's campaign heats up as election looms. With election night less than a month away, Prime Minister Herbert Atwood, 36 minutes? Nice. So close. Atwood has lashed out against his opponent with full force. My opponent, Mr. Leroy, if elected, will push this country back at least 20 years. Atwood went on to describe how Leroy's refusal to acknowledge the existence of aethericity, as well as his lukewarm stance on steam technology, will be detrimental to Vespucia's progress. Leroy, meanwhile, continued to chastise Atwood for his prioritizing machines over humans, saying that if he is re-elected, unemployment rates will skyrocket, with most workers are replaced by automated machines. The latest public opinion poll shows Atwood with a comfortable lead. However, many have criticized the polls for not including the majority of the workforce, Leroy's strongest supporters. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, this is shaping up to be quite the investigation. I should probably get a move on before the police ruin the crime scene any more than they already have.
Good luck, Miles. And stay away from the bars, would you?
Yes, ma'am. Like every Gets series is its own timeline. But a common theme is that Makoto and Batou hate working for Section 9, but the government literally own their bodies, so they have pretty much no choice. And standalone complex, the Major, through less than legal means, eventually gets enough money to buy herself back from the government. Nice. I've actually never watched all
Enjoy your
standalone
reading.
complex.
I'll be back soon.
It was
Goodbye,
just
dear.
something I was
Love
never
you.
able to catch.
Love you too.
Let's try to piss in the wife's flowers again this time. I like how the fucking image is just burning ash.
Looks as though we've arrived fashionably late.
Excuse me, sir, but this is an active crime scene. We can't allow members of the public.
Oh, this isn't just any member of the public, Kane. This is Miles Fordham. He used to be one of us until he killed his partner.
Wonderful. Officer Parsons is on the scene. It's a shock the apartment isn't in a shambles.
Good day to you too, officers.
Fordham? What are you doing here?
Ah, Snelling, I presume.
Ah, Captain Snelling. What a pleasure.
That's Chief Snelling now, Fordham. I don't expect you follow the workings of the department much these days, but I'd appreciate the proper address.
So nice to see the power hasn't gone to his head.
My apologies, Chief Snelling.
You haven't answered my question. What in blazes are you doing here?
The story was front page news. I couldn't resist coming to have a look for myself.
There's no respect for police business anymore. Damn meddlers. This is an active crime scene, Fordham. Leave the premises immediately.
We could solve this case in no time if we work together, you know.
We don't need any help. Not even from former detectives. Parsons, I'm going back to the station. I want you to report the minute you're done here. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, don't get any funny ideas, Fordham. If you so much as breathe on anything in here, I'll have you arrested for tampering with a crime scene. Do I make myself clear?
Sure, whatever you say, Chief.
Keep your nose where it belongs, or you'll have me to answer to.
Oh. The one thing the anime series will never attempt is to make the Major's hair fluorescent.
I
like
suppose
in the
it's reassuring
manga.
that
True.
even in this crazy, ever-changing world, you can always count on Snelling to be a complete ass.
You heard the chief. No snooping around. The sooner you get out of here, the better for all of us.
First two seasons of Standalone Complex in the movie are wonderful. Then they tried to make a third and fourth season, but they were weird, 3D animated, and were really fucking dumb and actually contradicted the events of Solid State Society film. So, like, I just ignore them. Yeah, been there. And also, the creator of the Ghost in the Shell has kind of gone loopy over the years. Only kinda. I mean, I've seen some of the original manga. It's a bit hornier than the rest of the series. I like how the manga made the Major, the manga made the Major a lesbian because he wanted to draw her naked and having sex, but I hit my mic, but didn't want to draw a man's butt. Yeah, like I said, it was always kind of, yeah.
Judging by these books, this Lathan was quite the fan of poetry. No title. I doubt it's a diary. People rarely leave those things laying out in the open.
There's a letter.
An invitation to the Gascon Grand Dame's Ball. It seems it was held 2 nights ago at the Gascon Supper Club.
Interesting.
Might be worth looking into, seeing as it's our only lead right now.
We have a lead.
You have to hand it to her. Miss Lathan certainly had a unique taste in fashion. I bet you could see her coming a mile away.
He's also always loopy crypto. Yeah. He's mostly a porn artist who occasionally does sci-fi books when his account starts getting a little thin.
Definitely too young.
I think it's the other way
to be
around. He was
Miss
always
Lathan.
full horny and
Perhaps
started drawing
irrelevant.
technology. Talk to Officer Kane.
Begging your pardon, officer.
Yes, what is it, sir?
Is there anything you can tell me about Desiree Lathan?
I'm afraid not. You don't have clearance in this investigation.
And there's nothing I can say to convince you otherwise?
My superiors would be very upset if they knew I was breaking the rules. I'm sorry.
I think the operative phrase in this instance is if they knew. We need to find a way to get
Yeah, he did
Parsons
porn
out of
books
here.
long before he
Maybe we
made
should visit up
Appleseed
there at
and
the
Ghost in the
station.
Shell.
How long have you been on the force, officer?
2 months, sir.
And how's it treating you so far?
This is where I was meant to be.
That's good to hear.
Parsons mentioned you used to be a detective?
I was, yes, for 15 years. It wasn't always easy, but I loved every minute of it.
Parsons goes on about how he's got his eye on becoming a detective.
Oh yeah, going a guy
I
for
don't know
sure.
if I'd be able to handle it.
Is that right?
Yes. He's up for review. I think he's trying to impress Snelling to improve his chances.
Parsons wants to be a detective? Now I've heard it all. As if he needed more of a reason to be Snelling's lapdog.
Do you enjoy working with Officer Parsons?
Perhaps he's just the less political Ghost in the Shell.
I don't like to talk about my colleagues, sir. Especially when they're standing right over there.
I understand. Perhaps this isn't the right time to be asking. What was Chief Snelling doing here?
Nothing more than a routine inspection of the crime scene.
Routine inspection? But the Chief of Police only goes to extremely high-profile crime scenes.
I couldn't possibly comment on that, sir.
Thanks for your time, officer.
That's curious.
Not a problem.
And Junji Ito? Yeah. Let's talk to asshole here. I mean Parsons.
Excuse me, Officer Parsons.
Clear off, Fordham. The chief doesn't want you here, and neither do I. You aren't on the force anymore, so you've got to respect the rules, just like every other citizen.
He'd be respecting my fist if I were alive, believe me.
I'm not trying to cause any trouble. I just want to ask a few questions.
Well, if it will get you to leave faster.
It will. I will totally leave faster.
What can you tell me about Desiree Lathan?
Nothing.
Because you don't know?
No, because I'm not going to betray Chief Snelling's orders and divulge that information to the public.
Come on, Parsons, you know me. What harm would it do to tell me just a little bit?
Do I have to state the obvious? If it were up to me, you'd be in jail for murdering an officer.
I wouldn't make such claims without knowing the facts, Parsons. It could get you in serious trouble. It'd be a real tragedy to see your career cut short and you back in the workhouse polishing airship rivets.
You don't scare me, Fordham.
Rest assured, the feeling is mutual.
Woohoo. Dunan and, God. Hekatonkeries are literally just the Major and Bateau, but with different names and different designs. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I've seen one thing of Appleseed ever, and I couldn't tell you a thing about it at this point.
Have you made much progress on this investigation?
Did you not hear me the first time, Fordham? Drop it before I have to arrest you for interfering with a police investigation.
You're looking well these days, Parsons. What's your secret?
Secret? I don't know. Maybe something about getting a good night's sleep without blood on my hands does wonders.
How long has Officer Kane been on the force?
I'm not one to gossip, Fordham.
That's only the second most hypocritical thing I've heard today.
Ask him yourself if you're so interested.
Why was Chief Snelling here anyway?
He's the chief of police, and this is an official investigation. It doesn't take a grand leap of logic.
Yes, but the Chief of Police never bothers with a crime scene unless it's of great importance.
Your point?
Does that mean this crime scene is, in fact, of great importance?
You're the investigator, Fordham. I'll leave you to work that one out.
I have all of Appleseed on Steelbook, the original 90s OVA and the 3D films. They are not good, but still love them. Hey, I mean, you like what you like.
I hear you're
that's
looking
fine.
to become a detective, is that right?
Yes, that's right. Shouldn't be a difficult bar to clear, given the caliber of some former detectives.
The process isn't easy, you know. You have to prove you're the best of the best.
Don't think I'm not aware of that, Fordham.
I'm just saying, standing around here isn't going to do you any favors.
I know that. First chance I get to shake this grunt detail for a shot at some real investigation, I'm all over it.
Parsons' eagerness might be something we can use to our advantage.
Really now?
That's all I wanted to know.
Good.
Let's go take a look, shall we? We've got the police station. Let's go to the supper club, actually.
The bridge to Lyon overlooking the House of Parliament. I suppose that seeing that helps the patrons of this club put on airs. That painting depicts a hand dropping a bunch of blood-soaked silver coins into another hand. Definitely sets the bar for the type of people who come here, I'd say.
Let's talk to the woman at the bar, I guess.
Excuse me, miss?
Oh, well, hello there, handsome. I've never seen you around here before.
Ma'am, I'm married.
Care to join me for a drink?
Thank you, but I'm on duty.
On duty? What are you, a cop?
Force of habit. I'm a private investigator, actually.
Oh, not much better, if you ask me.
The name's Miles Fordham, and you are?
Charlotte Robineau.
Pleasure. Mind if I asked you a few
Southern Belle
questions?
type.
I suppose not. It would help pass the time.
Were you here for the Grand Dame's ball the other night?
Of course, we all were. Well, except for Laura. Terrible business.
You mean Laura Dupre?
The very same. Have you met?
Yeah.
I have. In fact, I investigated her attempted murder.
Is that right? I heard she ended up in jail for torturing her servants.
Yes, it was quite disturbing.
I didn't think Laura was capable of such a thing. She always seemed so kind. I guess we all have our dark secrets.
Does that apply to you as well, Miss Robineau?
If I told you, then it would no longer be a secret, would it?
Fair point.
Let's talk about Desiree.
Do you know Desiree Lathan?
I knew her, yes.
When did you last speak to her?
Oh, it's been ages. She and I haven't had much to do with each other for a while.
Really?
Why is that?
It's really not important. We just didn't see eye to eye on a few things.
Oh, I can imagine a few
Was she
things.
at the Grand Dame's ball?
Yes, she was. Drinking up a storm, as usual. Desi really knew how to enjoy herself.
How much did she drink?
Oh, I don't know. She used to outmatch me, and I can handle quite a bit.
Oh, can you? That's...
What can you tell me about Desiree's death?
Just what I've read in the papers. She burned to death. It's horrible. She certainly didn't deserve to die in such a gruesome way.
Did she have any enemies? Anyone who might have wanted to do her harm?
No. Everyone loved her.
Except you?
Mr. Fordham, I said we haven't had much to do with each other. That doesn't mean I didn't care for her. Now please, let's drop the subject.
Interesting.
Tell me a little about yourself.
What you thinking there, Crypto? I see
Why,
the dots.
Mr. Fordham, I hardly know you. Well, that said, I'm always open to making new friends.
Watch out, Miles. I think she's getting ready to pounce.
I must compliment you on your lovely hairstyle.
Oh, how sweet of you to say. Though it is getting a bit ragged. I'm having it done this afternoon, in fact. My girl Adelaide is a treasure.
You don't say. Well, she must be talented to improve on near perfection.
Oh, such a flattering
Oh,
come,
boy.
Mr. Fordham.
Yeah.
You've really got a great sense of fashion and style. All the other Grand Dames must be jealous.
Oh, you.
Oh, I hate doing this.
Can I just say you've got the most radiant smile I've ever seen?
Oh, why, that's very sweet of you, Mr. Fordham.
It's true. Not many women your age still have all their teeth intact.
I beg your pardon.
I didn't know you were such a master of the high kick, Miles. You got your foot in your mouth in record time.
I just meant... You know what? Never mind. Thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to your drink.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I need a minute. Oh shit. Wow. It was going well and then just oh my god, that was fucking
These are all
hilarious.
high-end foo-foo liqueurs and cordials. You couldn't pay me to drink that rubbish.
It really was. That was
Nobody's bothered clearing this table
that
yet, it
was
seems.
I have no words for that one. God. Let's get the fuck out. With the police station real quick.
I didn't imagine we'd be coming back here in this lifetime.
Fordham. Have you solved the case already?
Don't I wish? I haven't even gotten started.
Chef's kiss. Oh, yeah.
I'm here if you need anything. Just be sure not to let Snelling see you.
I have low standards and that wouldn't work
He
even on
arrived a few minutes ago. I expect he'll be sequestered in his office today, so you shouldn't have to worry too much.
Good to know. Got a moment, Upton?
Yes, but let's make this quick.
Back to work, I see.
Yes, well, the coffee shop holiday had to end eventually. I'm gonna have to find someplace else to meet you. The higher-ups are getting suspicious.
To be honest, it was a bit wretched there. I won't miss it.
Well then, Mr. Big Bug, you can have the honor of choosing the next place. Under a bridge somewhere, perhaps.
Have you been able to find any leads on Bill's death?
Have you?
Not yet, no.
I don't want to get your hopes up, but I may have something.
Oh?
The man you're looking for, he was burgling a flower shop, right?
Yes.
I couldn't help but notice that in the last 2 cases you've had, plants have been used to drug people. It may just be a coincidence, but I also think it's something worth looking out for. If it becomes a pattern, there's a good chance it might be related.
But 2 different people did the drugging.
True, but in both cases, they learned from someone else.
True.
It's a stretch, but it's better than nothing. I'll take it into consideration. I'm having some trouble with Officer Parsons.
You and everyone else who's ever met him. What's the problem?
He's keeping me away from the Lathan
He's
crime
an
scene.
asshole.
Of course. He's one of the most loyal to Snelling.
Any suggestions for how I might get him away so I can look around?
I might have an idea.
Ooh.
There are several reported crimes that haven't been assigned yet, and Parsons is itching to prove his investigative chops. He'd probably abandon his post for a good enough lead and a chance to impress Snelling.
Upton, oh good, you impress me.
Department politics are something of a specialty of mine.
About getting Parsons away from the crime scene?
All right, these are the, as of yet, unassigned crimes. The body of a young man was found in the Hodgman River by the Gascon docks this morning. A woman named Chumley reported hearing a single gunshot in her neighbor's apartment last night. There was a deadly explosion at a factory in Worcester that may be linked to sabotage. And that's it for right now. Any of those strike your fancy?
Which one do you think he'd go for? The body in the docks, the reported gunshot, or details about the factory explosion? I think the body might be the best option. It's a tangible thing that he could go check out and that will distract him. The explosion, I don't think he'd get to do much. Not his expertise. A body, he'd probably believe he'd have more an understanding of. I'm gonna go with that one, I think.
Tell me more about the body found at the docks.
An unidentified man in his 20s was found in the river near the docks. The dock worker who reported it said that the body was bloated and decomposing. It must have been in the river several days. Dr. Edwards performed a post-mortem and determined the cause of death to be a blow to the head.
I see. Certainly leaves a lot of questions.
Do you think Parsons will be interested?
No, on second thought.
All right.
About...
All right. There was any...
All right, let's try this one.
Let's hear about the gunshot.
Ethel Williamson reported hearing a sound she described as a single gunshot coming from her neighbor's apartment last night. She said she had been hearing arguments over the past several weeks, and there may have been domestic violence involved. When she knocked on the door, she got no answer, but she said she noticed the distinct smell of flowers.
Intriguing.
Do you think Parsons will be interested?
Maybe.
No, on... About...
All right. A woman... There was a...
Give me the details about the factory explosion.
The owner of the Hawkins Steelworks reported an explosion at his factory that killed 2 of his workers. He says he's been getting several threatening letters about his current project.
And so he suspects someone has sabotaged the operation?
Yes, likely the Redites. Do you think Parsons will be interested?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that one.
Sounds good. Let's go with that one.
All right, I'll send out the report as soon as we're done talking.
Any updates on the Harris baby?
Yeah, let's hear an update.
He's back home and doing well thanks to you.
I'm glad to hear it.
You did an impressive job. I admit I was a bit concerned about how you'd fare after months of taking it easy. But I suppose detective work is like riding a bicycle.
It's a guaranteed way to end up with a broken arm.
I see the Gazette has caught wind of this supposed mass murderer.
Yes, Snelling has been positively fuming about it. Between that and the Lathan case being publicized on the same day, it's been a nightmare for the department.
Any idea how they got the information?
I don't think anyone in the department has spoken to the press. Maybe they just have some very good reporters.
So is it serious? Should we be concerned?
3 murders is nothing to sneeze at, but all the victims have been men in Chumley. If that changes, then things might start getting urgent.
Oh.
Isn't that just the way it is? You can bet they'd have already caught the bastard if the first body had turned up in Leon.
Have a moment to go over my current case?
Yeah, let's do it real
I'm afraid you're on your own this time, Fordham. If they find out I'm helping you...
Understood.
I'll still be here when you've solved it, though.
That's it for now.
Better get back to it, then.
All right.
Prime Minister Atwood, watching over the department with his signature scowl. I don't think I've ever seen anyone reading those books. I'm half convinced they're purely decorative. The old Jack and Stars.
That's certainly a flag. 8 stars and a Union Jack on a blue flag with gold trim. Let's go back to scene here.
Damn, looks like Parsons didn't take the bait. He must not have considered that case enough to prove himself to Snelling.
Really?
Got a moment?
Yes?
Unfortunately, Parsons didn't take the bait.
Nothing worse than a picky investigator.
Thank you?
All right, these are the, as of yet, unassigned crimes.
All right.
The body of a young man, a woman in and that's it. Any of the...
All right, let's try the body.
Tell me more about the body found.
And unidentified...
I see.
You think...
Sounds good. Let's go with that one.
All right.
That's it.
Better get...
All right, let's try again. Don't know why the explosion wouldn't have called to him.
Damn, looks like Parsons didn't...
Seriously?
Got him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Parsons didn't take the bait.
All right. Any...
Let's hear...
When you think...
Sounds good.
In this
Let's go with
alternate
that
timeline there, 2000
All right. I'll
we'll
send out
have
the
a
report as
fusion
soon as
of
we're done
Boris
talking.
Johnson and
That's
Trump.
it for now.
Oh, God.
Better get back to it, then.
Boris Trump. Donald Johnson. Donald Johnson. There you go. It'd be Donald Johnson. Because Boris Trump just sounds stupid. Seriously?
Looks like Parsons took the bait. Now maybe we can finally have a look around the crime scene.
Let's have a quick chit-chat, shall we?
Begging your pardon, officer.
Yes, what is it, sir?
Do you enjoy working with Officer Parsons?
If I'm being honest, he can be a bit much sometimes.
Only a bit much sometimes.
Trust me, you're not the only one who feels that way. I didn't have much interaction with him when I was a detective. The few times I did weren't very pleasant.
I could tell he doesn't seem to care much for you. Although I don't think he cares much for anyone except the chief. And that's only because he's the one who gives out the promotions.
True.
Is there anything you can tell me about Desiree Lathan?
I couldn't really say.
Come now, I'm trying to help this investigation. Any small detail would be useful.
Well, I haven't really looked over the crime scene too much. It's rather gruesome, you see.
Really?
Is the body still here?
Yes. What's left of it, at any rate. Miss Lathan was only identified by the tattoo on her foot.
She had a tattoo?
I see.
Good for her.
Has there been much progress here?
Snelling and Parsons examined the scene, that's all I know.
I didn't get
Do you
much
think
shit.
I might have a look, now that the initial investigation's been conducted?
I'm afraid that's out of the question, sir. I have my orders.
Officer Kane, I'm trying to aid this investigation. There may have been something overlooked by the others.
If Parsons were to catch you, my career would be over.
Trust me, he won't be back for some time. I swear on my honor as a former member of the New Britannia Police.
All right. I suppose you can go in for a moment, but please be quick about it.
Thank you, Officer Kane. I promise this will stay between us.
I just love rookie officers. They're so gullible. I once got one to shine my shoes for a week after convincing him it was department policy.
Oh, God damn it, Bill.
Times.
Don't pick on the newbies.
What was Chief Snelling doing here?
He was inspecting the crime scene.
Yes, but why was he involved? Is there...
Well, someone thought it might be related to the big case we're not supposed to talk about.
Wait, what?
You mean the mass murderer?
Yes, sir. I could see why the chief is upset. That
Donald
the news has
Johnson, a
gotten
man,
out.
man born with a semi-functional
No, I don't
third
believe
baby
so.
arm.
But the news reports are beginning to public on edge.
Of course. The less information there is,
That'd
the
be
easier it is for
horrifying.
rumors to start spreading.
Same hair, though.
Exactly.
It wouldn't matter. Just
Chief
pick
Snelling
one of
has
the
a
hair.
lot of fires to put out.
If that's the case, it's too bad he didn't get to Ms. Lathan in time.
Thanks for your time, officer.
Not a problem.
Let's take a quick look at the crime scene real quick. Good man. Ooh.
That's certainly a pungent aroma. I can see why the officer stuck to the living room.
Surprisingly modest quarters for a grande dame. You'd never guess she could buy out the likes of you and me 1,000 times over.
There's an ash pile burned through the bed.
Odd. Another pile of ashes under the bed. Looks as though whatever she kept underneath got burned too. Or it could be that whatever was under the bed is what caught fire in the first place. Although, there's no evidence of what started it. All that's left is a small piece of cloth. Might as well take it.
Haha, we're already taking things.
The cloth appears to have some oily residue on it. Interesting.
At least we're not oh, we got a close-up.
Ashes to ashes and all that. I'm glad I was buried. Cremation always seemed a bit too hot to handle.
Now's not the time for jokes, Bill.
Are you serious? Death is the best time for jokes. Otherwise, it's all just a bunch of boo-hoo-hoo this and wow-wow-wow that. And trust me, there's plenty of that in life. Hell, you'd know better than anyone.
All right. Just shut it for a bit while I look over the crime scene, would you?
Excuse me.
I need to concentrate.
Where that baby arm is attached to is up to your imagination.
I don't think Desiree will be able to give us a hand with this investigation.
Bill?
What? I thought it was funny. Ugh, greasy, fetid, stinking ashes. Who knew the human body was capable of producing such a disgusting byproduct?
I'm surprised the coroner hasn't taken the body away yet.
Left shoulder.
Probably because there isn't much of a body left to take. Either that or Dr. Edwards knows better than to deal with something like this.
That's extremely unlike him. He'd jump at the chance to examine this body. Perhaps we should allow him
I'd say
the pleasure.
right on the neck.
I hope you're not suggesting
That way he
you're
can start caressing his cheek when he's stressed.
Alas, poor Desiree, a woman of infinite riches, of tastes most fancy. Where's all your money now? Come to think of it, that question might be worth answering. Miles, do you really want to go carrying around those stinking ashes in your pocket? It'll take ages to get the smell out.
Good point. I'll need to find something to carry them in.
This one's clean. Well, aside from the fact that the rest of the leg is burned off. There's a tattoo on her ankle. It says, "Dancing through life." Hate to break it to her, but that dance is over.
I'm somewhat partial to the left elbow or the right pectoral. Alright, let's look around.
Some crumpled up letters. They look to be of the romantic variety.
They're from the same person. One Peter Andrews.
Peter Andrews?
It's always sad to see a case of unrequited love. I'm thinking we should find out who this Peter Andrews is.
Good idea. Now, are you finally willing to admit that looking through rubbish does yield results sometimes?
Fine, you win. But I don't think I envy your prize.
Oh, for fuck's sake. They really need to make it where you can read these better. Dearest Desiree, I offer you my heart, though I am sadly unable to offer you my hand. that circumstances were different. Why must life and love both be so cruel? I must continue to love and admire you from afar. I can only hope these feelings are mutual. Dearest Desiree, once again, I must declare my love for you, though you have not yet responded to any of my letters. I maintain hope that you care for me as I do for you. I remain ever faithful. Call upon me and I will rush to your side. We will embrace as Mr. and Mrs. Andrews at long last. Ugh.
It looks as though Miss Lathan was in the middle of writing something.
What were we
It's
writing?
an article for Brentwell magazine.
Igniting the fires within.
Igniting the fires within.
I was just saying that.
A bit on the nose, wouldn't you say? Classic Brentwell. They have a reputation for making their writers go to extremes for their articles, all for the sake of entertainment.
Perhaps we should pay their offices a visit, see exactly what it was Miss Latham was doing for them.
We are all familiar with the idea of an inner fire, a term usually applied to our sense of passion or determination. But what if that inner fire was of a more physical nature? That is, say, if each of us had the capability to light a real fire within our bodies. Yeah, that's not how it works.
As much as I like this painting, this isn't the time for art appreciation. That's a nice portrait of Miss Latham. Too bad it was damaged by the fire. The area where the artist's signature should be has been singed and is unreadable. Too bad.
But the date is still legible. It's from this year.
Looks like this one barely managed to survive. Pity. It looked like a nice work of art.
See, it's in the nightstand.
There's a letter in here.
Another one? Dear Miss Latham, this letter is to inform you...
This just keeps getting more and more interesting. The law firm of Usher and Price isn't too far from here. I think it's definitely worth paying him a little visit.
That we have received your request to make changes to your beneficiary as indicated in your last will and testament. Please come to the law offices of Usher and Price at 72 Cardigan? I don't know, I can't... Street, Worcester, so that we may refine the documents and make the necessary edits. Okay. Let's check the fireplace real quick. We gotta find something to put something in a minute, too.
Doesn't look as though this fireplace has been used in a long time. I suppose we can rule it out as the source.
Okay, let's just go here real quick.
Was there someone else in the room just now? I thought I heard you talking.
Oh, no. It's just sometimes I think aloud when investigating crime scenes.
I see.
Good save. We don't need any more police officers thinking you're insane.
No, the ones are enough.
Nothing new to add?
There was. Alright. I think this is actually a good place to stop for the night. We've started the next case after solving the last one, and it gives us something to look forward to when we come back the next time we play this. Gotta say, I'm still enjoying the game. I'm still enjoying the characters. The cases are interesting. Got some interesting twists. There's some things we don't get answers for, and I think it's just because of the choices I'm making. Like, we never got to know what was going on with that back room in the first case with the one guy's mom. And in this one, we don't know about R. Like, specifically, what's the connection, if this is like a romantic thing or not. Yeah, 3 more minutes. This way you can go enjoy your fun stuff, and I can get food in a minute. But yeah, we'll play more of this next week. So tomorrow, as I said earlier, we'll be going back with Persona 3 Festival. So I'll be looking forward to that. Now we'll be around the normal time, I believe. Around 8:30 Eastern tomorrow night. Saturday, we'll be playing more Cult of the Lamb, which I'm looking forward to getting back into that one and seeing how much more we can do and make more outhouses so I have to clean up less shit. I am tired of cleaning up all your all's poop. But Sunday, we're going to be doing a content mine, which is going to be a lovely mix of enjoyable and really painful videos. I've got some fun stuff lined up, which some of you have already been privy to. And of course, if you want to add anything to that list, be sure to go into the Discord and go to the Content Mine Dropbox and put in any kind of video and stuff there that you want to watch. And we'll see if we can add it in. And that will be around the normal time as well. So with that being said, we're going to find someone to raid here in a minute. But first, let's talk to the highlight people. Hi, highlight people. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed yourself, please feel free to drop a follow here at twitch.tv/Xandris if you haven't already. I'd like to do a content mine tomorrow. I mean, if you want to, you can do that. You stream. But I'm doing it on Sunday. Because tomorrow is Persona. Oh, nothing new? That's not good. Oh, speaking of interesting things, science-wise, did you hear about the new snails that were found? I'll talk to the highlight people again here in a second. They're the smallest snails ever found. They were discovered recently. within the last, I think, couple months. And apparently they're the size of, like, smaller than a grain of sand. It's fucking wild. I just thought it was interesting. Yeah, highlight people. If you want to enjoy more fun conversations like that, we occasionally have those here. But mostly it's just gaming and stuff. But you can drop a follow here at twitch.tv/Xandros if you haven't already. And of course you can also follow me on Twitter. Doing both those things makes it a lot easier for you to know when I go live. Because sometimes Twitch is a little wonky on that, especially when they were having problems yesterday. Apparently people weren't able to go live or something like that. So it's better to have a connection with me outside of just Twitch so you know when to come hang out. If you want to support the channel beyond just following, you can always drop a sub right here for yourself. You can use Prime, or you can not do that. You can also gift it to someone else, because sharing is caring. And if you want to completely bypass Twitch altogether, you can go through this and drop some money on my PayPal, which helps keep things going, changing and improving. More games, new art, stuff like that. And of course, you can always buy some merch featuring our little buddy Spritz the Squirtle. We got stickers featuring the various emotes here on the channel. We've got phone cases with Spritz on the back. We've got shirts. There's mugs. It's fun stuff. You can go check out there. And yeah, that's really all I've got. So with that being the case, we're going to find someone to raid. But highlight people, thank you so much for watching. And until the next stream, stay safe. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.